Good evening, one and all. It's Friday. It's the end of the working week, and as voted for over on the Support Tea Lounge today, we're turning some more warframes into D&D monsters. Welcome in, one and all. How are we all doing today? Hello there, Max Match. Hello, Gorokop. Hello, Rainuva. Hello, Gorilla. Hello there, Square Banana. Hello there, back to Swiss. Hello, Zom. Hello, Cat Tonk. How are we all doing? Hello, Ladybug as well. I see you there. And of course, it's the start of a stream. Gorokop's got the hydrate ready to go. Huh. Cheers. Next one to say, nice to see you completing half of D&D this stream. Half of D&D? I mean, we're getting another Warframe done. We're not going to be completing half of this entire document today. This is a huge one. We are, let's see, how many pages are on this thing? It says that there are 29 pages at the moment. Nowhere near half. But we're getting there. We're getting there, bit by bit, adding in all these different warframes. We'll get there, step by step, bit by bit. Cat Tonk, cheers. Chroma is a dragon, half of D&D. Oh, I see. I see. We're actually not just 7 warframes in though, because we've got Excalibur, Mag, Volt, and then going alphabetical thereafter, Ash, Atlas, Banshee and Baruch already. Yep. And Caliban, actually. So this is now Warframe number 9 we're on to. This is the 7th time I'm streaming it, but this is Warframe number 9. Alright, Sally, I'm doing alright. My cat, probably doing alright. Don't know where she is at the moment. Probably sat downstairs, just glaring at the TV and everything on it. But, yeah. We're doing fine. Dragon Boy the 2 will be the lengthiest. I'm probably going to cut down a lot of the details with regards to Chroma, if you think about Renova, because to fit it into a D&D monster, we want it to be no more than a single double spread at the prime level, which means that the 2 and the 3 are going to have far less craziness going on. Certainly, we're not going to want something that takes 34-minute video to explain. Absolutely not going to have something on that level. But yeah, just scrolling back up, I do see from Square Banana string, where are the rules to enter Barium Prime Access? Gotta say, Barium Prime Access is the first time I've seen Baruch spelled that way. But that aside, if you head on over to thekengineer.com/Baruch-Prime, it decides to break, so let me try it again. Baruch-Prime. I don't know why sometimes it just doesn't go straight there, but there we are, that's a thing. But yeah, the details for Baruch Prime Access giveaway are over there. Fun fact, that's running on Sunday, not today. That is running on Sunday, not today. Although I should probably put the details of that in a link somewhere. Let's see. Let me just quickly create a command for that one. Let's create a command. I'm going to call it... what do we call it? Yeah, terms. If I just call the command terms, that should go nicely. See the giveaway terms here. Bam. There we are. That's now a command. That's now a command. Well, guys, there is no giveaway happening today, though. Just because I mentioned the word giveaway, there is no giveaway happening today because today is not Sunday. Sunday is when the Baruch Prime Access is happening. Lizzie, thanks for checking that command works. There we are. If I just give that one a click, yep, takes me straight to it. Perfect, there we are. My website works! Hurrah! And I just hit my microphone. Of course I did. Alrighty then, chat. Shall we get cracking on? Because as much as I'm going to be cutting down some of the details on Chroma, Chroma's still going to be quite the frame to get it going with. So we're going to need to start slamming in some details here. We're going to need to start slamming in some details. And the start that I always do with every frame, like I've done with Caliban here, is we get started with actually introducing a frame to anyone who may be unaware as to what Chroma stands for. That was a good bouncy bag. Yeah, it happens. When I hit it, it happens. Alright, that's it. I'm doing alright. Okay, apparently I'm not. I'm doing alright. Hope you're doing well yourself. I think I was saying I didn't know how to website. Yeah, it's more of a portal than a website. Let's be quite honest. I don't need a website. However, some people might want to find a website, or they might want to know, hang on, this email address you have, such and such at thekengineer.com. What is thekengineer.com? That's why there's a website. The website basically says, hey, you're here for this guy. Go here, 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 or here, depending on what you want to do. Like, go to YouTube, go to Twitch, go to Patreon, go to Discord. There are other things. Get off the website. You're in the wrong place. That's what the website's for. So, hey, I figure it's somewhere I could put the terms up as well for the giveaway without someone having to be on a Discord to see the full terms. As that was a complaint I received about the last giveaway, and it's a valid complaint. So, the terms are available without having to sign into a Discord. Godcop saying, will the Varuna D&D streams be the longest one also? Probably not, no. Probably not. I was saying, so that Brook Prime exists in the game. Do you think Hildren Prime or Wisp Prime is coming first? Oh, it's got to be Hildren Prime first. It's got to be, surely. It's got to be. King Masteron, there is not a giveaway happening today. If you are here for the Brook Prime Access giveaway, so I'm going to be saying this like 50 times today. If you're here for the Brook Prime Access giveaway, that's on Sunday. Check your calendar, my dude. That one is happening in 2 days' time. Alright, so Chroma, let's give it a little intro to Chroma. Yeah, Chroma. No, not Chroma. The Chroma Warframe, that should be capitalized. The Chroma Warframe is appears to be an attempt to infuse the Warframe program with the powers of dragons. Perhaps the most terrifying part of that is it succeeded. Any Chroma is capable of bearing the powers of multiple types of chromatic dragon. And they have the temperament. Is it temperament? I think it's temperament. Yeah, temperament to match. I think that's a simple one paragraph, a couple line intros, similar to what I've done with Caliban, just to get us into the idea of what the kind of Chrome we're going for. I'm focusing on draconic style because it's the Dragon Warframe and we've got Dungeons & Dragons. I would have to. Cock saying attempt. What? Ah, yes, thank you. I had to assume the only reason you would misspell attempt and then at me was to say, hey Ken, you have misspelled attempt. Thank you. Penguin was saying, doesn't it mean next year we should be getting Grenell Prime? Maybe. I don't keep full track of the Prime releases. I mean, I thought Prime releases were sort of like 3 months apart. But here we are with Baroque Prime coming out barely 2 and a bit months after Revenant. So go figure. Waldmans, cheers. So the Chroma Warframe appears to be an attempt to infuse the Warframe program with the powers of dragons. Perhaps the most terrifying part of that is it succeeded. Any Chroma is capable of bearing the powers of multiple types of chromatic dragon, and they have the temperament to match. I feel like that is sufficient of an intro to say, yep, you are probably screwed. But sure, fight it anyway. So let's copy over the details from the Caliban Initiate just to act as a template and get this guy on the road. Alright then. Now, as much as they're going to have the temperaments match, I'm going to still keep in with the theme that Warframes have higher intelligence but lower charisma, just as a general standpoint for the mental stats. So, for the Chroma Initiate, I'm going to work through the bits and pieces here. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to focus on having the Chroma line be a slightly lower challenge rating. So for the starter frames, I think I put all the starter frames at challenge 3 and then scale from there. Yeah, so Excalibur Initiate is challenge 3. For some of the later game frames, I've focused on them starting off at challenge rating 5. Well, Astra started at 4, but let me see. Atlas was a 4. Which ones did I put at 5 then? I know I did some of them 5. And she was a 4. Yeah, Brooke is a 5. and Caliban is a 5 starting point. Yeah, there we are. So frames which are later into Warframe, I'm putting as a starting challenge rated 5. Chroma is actually a much earlier one. Like, it's still Star Chart acquisition. Yeah, you do a quest, but it's mostly Star Chart stuff. So I'm going to put him as a challenge rating 4 and scale from there. So 4, 9, 14, and 19. Just bring him down a little bit. So, with that in mind, I need to get an idea as to how I want to go about actually building him. I'm thinking for Chroma, high damage has just got to be order of the day, right? High damage is something crucial to the idea of dragons. Like, facing a dragon type thing, it's going to be bringing out the elemental powers to just blow your socks off. Thinking that through, I might go for... If we go for higher damage, focus slightly more onto dex, a little bit lower on the strength and con. Or the, yeah, I think that should work. You know, make him nimble, make him agile. Still modestly tough. You know, not going to make him weak, but nimble and dangerously powerful. I think we should go for on Chroma here. So, with that in mind, then let's have a look at our planner stats. So, for challenge rating for what we can do on this one. If I aim the damage slightly above the 4, but then keep the actual stats here on the 4 and have them worse off in terms of mobility. That doesn't make sense. That's not nimble. No, I'm not sure on that one. Yeah, maybe, yeah, just a balanced approach, actually. I'll go for a balanced approach with the damage slightly higher. I can afford to go slightly over. That's all. Fly speed? Flight speed should be at a higher tier. I would imagine that it should be something at a higher tier. I can give him an enhanced bullet jump because bullet jump is the improved passive. He gets more jumps, not straight up flight. Straight up flight is things like your Zephyr, things like your Wukong, things like your Titania. Chroma doesn't get that. And nor do pseudo dragons or dragonborns or basically anything that's just dragon related doesn't just get flight most of the time. Instead, Chroma is leaping. So we'll be including that in the spectral wings kind of approach. But yeah, with that aim then, if I'm going to go for across the board kind of stats, but with slightly above aspect in terms of damage, and then I just have neutral movement speed, that should be a good launching point. That means we're aiming for AC 14, HP 75 as our target. And I say that we're going to go lower on the strength, lower on the con, bring those down. I'll take the con down to 12 and put the points here into, mostly into dexterity. And I think what I'll do is put more into the intelligence as well. Just go, yeah, go a little bit more devastating on the fire breath, because I'm going to base the fire breath off of intelligence, because it is a casting spell. Well, it's not going to be a spell, is the way I'm going to use that, but it's a casting approach. So with that rebalance there, in comparison to Caliban here, it's got a little bit of strength, a lot of con. There's the adaptability, the survival nature of Caliban. This is instead much more agile, more intelligent, less resilient. I think that works out as an idea. In terms of the skills then, also, language. Language I absolutely have to add on Draconic. It can't be Dragon-based frame and not have Draconic in the languages. I know most of the other frames don't have an extra language. Threw in some extra for Atlas. But Chroma's got to know Draconic, hasn't he? It's just got to. With the skills, dragons are known for their perception and stealth. They are just generally known for that, so I'm thinking actually those can be the first go-to bits here. I know that Chroma himself isn't really much of it, but we're doing Dungeons and Dragons, not Warframe. It's Warframe themed Dungeons and Dragons, and that means we're going to focus more on the dragon side of stuff here. Especially bonus is only a +2 at challenge rating 4. Bearing that in mind. We gotta say, need a name for my new Robo Dog. Any ideas? You could call it Byte, spelt B-Y-T-E. There's an idea for you. Is there any way I can tie Chroma to Tiamat? Tangentially. We've already got enough going on with Chroma's base kit. I don't really need to start tying in things, certainly to very specific bits of lore, because Tiamat or Tiamat, however you want to pronounce them, I think it's just Tiamat, is in a very specific pantheon of Dungeons and Dragons. Not all DMs will include them in their world building, so I would rather not tie it into that. I'd rather not. Alright then, so, perception here is going to be based off the wisdom, which is a +0, so that is a +2. The stealth here is based off the dex, which I didn't update these. Let me just fix that real quickly. Yo! Garocop, thank you very much for gifting a sub over to Blind Guy Playing. You're a legend, dude. Cheers on that. You're now challenging Quintus for the number 2 spot on the leaderboard. Let me just update those. There we go. Alright, so stealth based off a +2 with another +2 from proficiency becomes a +4. Damage resistances do not happen at this tier. Ooh. But... No, damage resistances don't kick in at this point. No. Damage resistances don't kick in at this point. We'll leave those for now. Passive perception is going to be a 12. Leaves it here. Okay. Twice per turn, Chroma may turn a jump into a bullet jump, jumping as if it had run up and able to cover twice the distance. This is going to be enhanced bullet jump because Chroma just gets more. Chroma's going to be busy. I'm going to be paring it down, Blind Guy. Because there's so much going on with the frame, I will be paring it down to make it much more manageable. Because at the end of the day, we want a DM to be able to run the character, not just create something crazy looking. So enhanced bullet jump. Chroma may turn a jump into bullet jump, jumping as if it had a run up and able to cover twice the distance. Chroma may make a... Now, did I put it? I think I put it in the start here, didn't I? Double jump, yep. Once per turn, a Warframe may make an additional jump mid-air. This is considered a standing jump. Yep. Okay. So I'll say that Chroma can use this feature mid-air in addition to the all Warframe double jump feature. And that I'm going to put into italics just to call out the fact that it is a specific name. So enhanced bullet jump, twice per turn, Chroma may turn a jump into a bullet jump, jumping as if it had a run up and able to cover twice the distance. The vertical is going to be a 6 foot because of the reduced strength. The horizontal is of course going to be 20 foot because again of the reduced strength. So that covers the passive straight away. It's enhanced bullet jump, they just get an additional jump. And it is a pseudo kind of flight because they can bullet jump 6 foot and then 6 foot. And then they've got the double jump, which will give them a further 1.5 feet. So Chroma Initiate, the very starting Chroma, can already get themselves 13.5 feet off the ground. Jumping is based on dex. Jumping is based on strength. Jumping is based on strength in D&D. Well, again, I'm feeling like Chroma should be dex-based, not strength-based. I just get the vibe they should be. I might be wrong on that, but feeling for the idea of dragons, yeah, they're strong, but they're kind of just strong in all aspects. I'm going for the dex because it allows for this stealth to happen as well, which I know is not very warframe Chroma, but it is very dragon. And Chroma is meant to be an infusion of dragons. Exactly, yeah, Jason. Yeah, if you want to avoid a warframe hitting you, you need to be quite high up if you're up against Chroma, surprisingly. Doing tricks in the air's dex as the most flight, while strength is running and distance jumping. Effectively, yeah, it's close enough. Acrobatics isn't about leaping. Acrobatics is more gymnastics in terms of your grace, in terms of being able to balance. Strength, as it relates to athletics, is about being able to put force behind it. You could have the best form in the world. If you do not have the strength in your legs, you're not going anywhere when you jump. Whereas you could have absolutely terrible form, no proficiency in athletics, but you've just got strong legs and you can just jump. Yeah, it's not going to be a graceful jump. Yeah, it's not going to be an impressive jump, all considered, but it's still going to be a jump. Strength is jumping. The other reason that it's that way around is because dexterity already does too much. Like, seriously, dexterity gets a hell of a lot in 5th edition. It doesn't need any more. Blank Guy saying, if you want to just note an option rule where Chroma can use dex for jumping as opposed to strength. No, there's no point in that. There's no point in that, because Chroma has the enhanced bullet jump, so he's already got his jumps. He's fine. He's absolutely always fine. Hello, Snake Raider. How you doing? Right. It doesn't have a razor jar, so we can just take that out. There we go. And the initiate is actually going to start off with no innate spellcasting. None whatsoever. I know. Surprise. Instead, this is going to be... The first one is going to be what do they call it in game? It's not Dragon's Web. What is it called? This is why I should always just have the thing open. Warframe Chroma. The ability is called Spectral Scream. Spectral Scream? Now I think about it. How did we ever call this a Dragon Warframe when Spectral Scream is the first one? How is that not a Banshee ability? I never really thought about that. Dragon? Spectral? Yeah, it does give the idea of hitting across planes as something ethereal. Certainly not belching fire. Spectral Scream. I mean, Scream is... It's all noise. That's the whole point. It's just noise. It's just, I suppose, what the ability is, really. It's just noise. It doesn't really do a lot else. That is... Chat, am I just going to rename this Dragon Breath? I'm not keeping that name. I know I've been keeping most of the ability names, but there's no way I'm keeping Spectral Scream. That's the chill touch of Warframe abilities. I'm not doing it. That's just... no. It's spectral because it can hit across the whole elemental spectrum. I mean, it's not even across the whole elemental spectrum. It's only across 4 of the basic elements. It's pretty terrible. Is Chroma going to get to swap between fire, ice, poison, and lightning for her attack element? Yes. Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. So, Chroma exhales their choice of breath attack. And I'll make this a recharge one in a moment. Chroma exhales their choice of breath attack. I was saying, how about chromatic breath? Gets the idea of elemental change in there. Ooh. Yeah. Chromatic breath. Chromatic breath. I like that. Chroma exhales their choice of a breath attack. Either... So it's... yeah. Heat, cold, poison, or lightning. Heat is fire. Oh yeah, it's fire, isn't it? Ugh, I'm mixing those up. Thank you. So either fire, cold, poison, or lightning. Creatures. Now I'm wondering, do I make it where even the lightning is a cone? I know that for normal dragons it's a line, but what if this is more of a shower of sparks? I know lightning is usually a line, but what if we make a change just this once to add to that weirdness factor? Well, I suppose it's already more useful than the actual ability. Oh yeah, absolutely. I know that this Chroma is definitely going to be much more dragon frame than the dragon frame. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to go full cone on this one, because otherwise it's just a lightning one being different, and I just don't want to spend the space on that, quite frankly. Are these sheets available to the public? That is a very interesting question. There we go. Bop! Got you covered. There's your info on where to get them. Don't bronze dragons have a cone of lightning? That's a good question. I wouldn't have thought so, but let me check. I don't actually know. Lightning breath exhales in a 120-foot line. That is 10 foot wide. Yeah, even the bronze dragons in 5th edition, straight line of it. They do a big old zappies. Alright, yeah, so creatures in a 15-foot cone in front of Chroma must make a dexterity saving throw, and the DC is going to be 8 plus the int, that's 11 plus this for 13. Let's make a dexterity saving throw. On a failed, they take... now this is where we've got to think about the damage output here. This is where we got to think about the damage outputs. So, I'm going to make this a recharge 6. And with a recharge 6, and we're aiming for about this damage here, definitely want to be doing quite a bit of damage. Assume we hit 2 creatures, or AoEs, we just assume 2 creatures. That's just the default for encounter balancing. I want to aim for around about, I want to say, 45 damage, which means across 2 creatures, about 20-ish damage each. If I go for... Change for... Would 66 be too much? I think 66 should be fine. Here we go, 66, which is going to average out to 21 damage of the appropriate type. 66 fireball. Fireball is 8d6, and that has a 20-foot radius, which is a lot bigger than a 15-foot cone. 66, in fact, is the total potential damage output single target of a Scorching Ray, 2nd level spell. So for this challenge rating 4 to have a single second-ish level tier ability, yeah, that's not bad. That should be fine. It's meant to be a bit scary. Let's have a look. What do dragons have, actually? Well, no, dragons aren't good to compare because the people who made the monster manual don't understand their own challenge rating system. I want to go on a rant, chat. Is it too early to go on a rant? I'm going on a rant. Let me grab my book. Hold up. I'm going on a rant already. Alright then. So, here's my gripe with the challenge rating system. The challenge rating system is pretty well understood mathematically. I've got this lovely little table here from bloggerholden.com. Brilliant blog, by the way. And they've gone over the bits and pieces in terms of the various ACs, hit points, attack stats, damage stats, all that lot of various monsters at various levels, and they figured out, okay, well, this is actually the typical averages. But you see, even in the information they give here, damage can be plus minus 50% based on concept. HP can be plus or minus 50% based on concept. And even if you tried using the DMG stats do not match up even close to a lot of monsters. It's kind of crazy. It is absolutely crazy. So to give you an example here, if I bring up well, let's bring up a dragon, actually. You know what? Let's bring up a lovely red dragon. Where's a nice red dragon here? Let me grab that real quickly. Not the green one. There's a red one. Let's go for the challenge rating 10. Let's beef it up a bit. The young red dragon, okay? And if I can... One sec. Grab my other book, the Dungeon Master's Guide, the official publication, which is supposed to match in with this. Let's compare the stats on this young red dragon to the table in the Dungeon Master's Guide on creating monsters. I just remember where that one is. That is just a couple pages this way. Yep, there it is. Cool. So, the young red dragon does not have any magical spells to control the battlefield or anything like that. About the most crazy thing is that it has damage immunity to fire, and it has a fly speed. Aside from that, oh, and it's got dark vision and blind sight. It's got a few things going on, fair enough. But mostly it's flying, breathing, and striking at you. Okay? So, starting with the defensive stuff, it has a hit point total of 178, which, going down this list here, would put that at challenge rating 8. You go, oh, challenge rating 8, well, that's not too much. But it also has that damage immunity to fire, which, oh, wrong book, which according to this here, it says, here we go, if a challenge rating 5 to 10 creature has an immunity, double its effective hit points. So it's not actually 178 hit points. For the mathematics that they state in their own book, it is actually, what's that going to be, 356. Which would put the challenge rating defensively at challenge rating 20. We're not off to a good start. We're not off to a good start there. But it is only immunity to fire, but that's what it says in the book here. That's what it says in the book. Effective hit point multiplier. A monster with an expected challenge rating of such and such, and if it has immunity to such and such, you include the multiplier from the table. Yeah. Already, a little bit of a problem. Joseph said maybe insert the word choosing in front of either fire. Ah. Let's see. Chroma excels. Their choice of a breath attack. I don't need to do that, Jason. I've got Chroma excels. Their choice of. I've already got the choice in there. I don't need to make a choice again. Like 3 words later, it's already there. Okay, so as I said, we got challenge rating of the young red dragon defensively already at anywhere between challenge rating 8 to 20. Now with the armor class, it has an armor class of 18, which is 2 points above what they recommend for challenge rating 8. So even without the fire resistance, their defensive challenge rating is challenge rating 9. But then we get on to the attacks. In the first round, we can assume that the young red dragon would use its fire breath, 16d6 damage, So it's 56 damage to 2 different entities, because that's how you run these things. That is also the DMG. So we can assume that's going to put out 112 damage in turn 1. And then on turns 2 and 3, we'll assume it makes its 3 attacks, 1 with its bite, 2 with its claws. Its bite deals 20 damage, and its claw deals 13. With 20, plus 13 brings us up to 33, plus 13 brings us up to 46. 2 rounds of that is going to be 92. 92 on top of 112 gives us 218? I want to say 218, yeah. Someone check my math there. That doesn't sound right. 208? It's 208, isn't it? Oh, I'm juggling too many numbers at once. $204. How did I even get that so wrong? 204. Moon saying, when are the drop/rewards live again? Midnight? I think you're probably on about the weekend drop thing happening over on the Warframe category. You're in the Dungeons & Dragons category. So there's absolutely not going to be that here, and also that doesn't start until a few hours from now, yeah. It's going to be after the stream ends. So we're getting 204 damage across 3 rounds, which if we divide it by 3, the total damage per round comes out to 68. 68 damage per round. Yeah, that puts it nicely in the offensive section of challenge rating 10. So that is good. Except it has a plus 10 to hit. Okay, so that brings it up 1, so that should probably be 11. So just going by the stats there alone, we're ignoring the flight, we're ignoring the armor class. Sorry, no, we're ignoring the flight, we're ignoring the fire immunity, we're ignoring the blind sight, we're ignoring the dark vision. Just the base stats alone, the young red dragon is already pushing the edge of challenge rating 10, probably going further. If you look deeper into the dragons, there is a lot of dragons, and there's a lot of monsters generally, which just completely ignore challenge ratings figures. Some of them match up, but many of them just don't. It's commonly understood that most dragons punch above their challenge rating, which is ridiculous, because if it's above its challenge rating, increase its challenge rating, you know? Just increase it. It's much the same as how in Warframe we've got the enemies over in Railjack. They spawn at X level. You go to fight them, and oh, look at that! Sorry, they're just tankier than you thought. Like, well, yeah, that's because you saw level and decided to make it not level. The challenge rating is balked in D&D 5e, as far as I'm concerned. Goes to say, yeah, the challenge rating system is really wonky. Gorgon and the Roper are the same challenge rating. First one plays flatter, the second one almost TPK'd them. I mean, low CRs and slow levels are also very, very, very swingy. Like, very swingy. CBJ will say, I hope they fix this in 6th edition. They won't. Here's how they'll fix it in 1 edition, in 1 D&D, CBJ. Which, first of all, terrible rebrand. Terrible. That's like Xbox One at that point. Here's how they're going to fix it in 1 D&D. The DM decides. That's what they're going to write. That's what they're going to write. Somewhere, somehow, at some point, they're going to work that lovely little phrase in. Because they've been doing that more and more and more. 5e is everyone's second favourite tabletop role-playing game. Just the second favourite. Alright, enough of that. So, 66 is a starting point here. I might raise the damage later, might not, we'll see. 66 is a starting point, should be okay. I'm trying to focus on keeping to challenge rating because I understand that when a DM looks at a challenge number, they're supposed to understand that it means that number, not something within 50% of this number. That's just stupid. I don't know who put that out and went, yep, this is a working system, absolutely. What's that? This monster hits well above its weight. you get no extra XP for it, because fuck you. It's... Oh, God. I just... Yeah. I don't get it. Anyway, rant over. I've had my moments. We'll probably come back to that next time I stream D&D stuff, won't I? Oh, it's wonderful every single time. Alright, so... we've got an enhanced bullet jump. We've got our chromatic breath. So that is going to take up 1 turn. Assuming it hits 2 characters, we get out 42 damage. We're aiming for around about 75 to 90 damage. Is that? No. Yeah, 75 to 90 damage across 3 turns. I don't know why I had to triple check my math there. Yeah. 3 times 25 is 75, 3 times 30 is 90, yeah. So we're aiming for about 80 damage across 3 turns. That should be good. We got 42 here so far. That leaves me 38 to play with. I want to do 19 per turn on the next 2 turns. So, multi-attack Chroma makes 2 attacks with its We'll Figure Out a thing. I want it to be 19 damage. So, 2 attacks then. Okay, if we take our 2 attacks, if we aim for those 2 attacks to be 9 damage each, that should be fine. 9 damage with a +2 will be 7 from the die. There is no die that gives 7. We could go for a 2d6, but then we wouldn't be using Dex, would we? Do I give Chroma a Grand Prime? Warframes in the recent subs again. Warframes in the recent subs up. Warframes more than in the recent subs, Snake Raider. Snake Raider, have a look at the leaderboard for the gifted subs this month. Have a look at the leaderboard. Tell me if you missed something. Gatong, cheers. Yeah, I'm switched. I've changed my mind on the whole Dex thing. I know I made a whole song and dance about it. I'm switching Chroma. They're not Dex anymore. They're Strength. We're going Grand Prime with them. We're going down that road. That stealth is only a +2. Whatever. The bullet jump is increased. It's a 10-foot vertical. It's a 28-foot horizontal. With its Gram Prime. Oh, well, just... we'll call it Greatsword. When we get to the Chroma Prime, I'm going to give it a Grand Prime special weapon. I'm going to give it a special weapon at Prime tier. Yeah, you missed it, Snake Raider. They dropped in... Oh, it was just on Wednesday, wasn't it? Yeah. Yeah, it was just on Wednesday. They dropped in and said, Happy Tannerborn. And then gifted 40 subs. It was about the same time that someone also popped into the chat for the first time and was asking how to buy Twitch accounts off other people. And they were trying to do it without getting banned. I'm like, you moron, Warframe themselves is right here, right now. You've just walked up in front of a police station and going, yo, is this the place to get drugs? So yeah. Anyway, Chroma makes 2 attacks with its Greatsword, and let's give it some Greatsword stats. Greatsword, melee weapon attack, +4 to hit, reach 5 foot, 1 target. Hit is going to be 2d6 +2 slashing damage, and that is an average of 9. There we go. 2 attacks with Greatsword means we get 9, 18. 2 lots of 18 is 36. Add on 2 lots of 21 there, which is 42 on the 36, gives us 78. Which is... it's only an inch. Only an inch above the 25 there. This is pretty much on the money for a challenge rating 4 creature. Pretty much on the money for it. And I think that's fine. Just have Chroma have roughly 50% more attack power, no one know the difference. Yeah, you know what? That's fine. I could totally just say, actually, Chroma makes 3 attacks with its Greatsword. It's challenge rating 4. You don't notice the difference, do you? So stupid. Honestly, I don't get the point of making a numerical system and then fudging the numbers by 50%. That's just bonkers to me, frankly. That's just bonkers. Snake Raider, cheers. Anyway, don't want to rant too long on that. We need to get these Warframes put together because I also can't really run over time today. It would be a terrible, terrible things to do. Alright, let's see. So, Chroma excels their choice of breath weapon, breath attack, either fire, cold, poison, or lightning. Creatures. Do we go creatures or hostile creatures? Chroma don't give a shit. Creatures. Creatures in a 15-foot cone in front of Chroma must make a dexterity saving throw, DC 13. On a failed save, they take such and such of the appropriate type. On a successful save, they take half damage. Gonna put the half damage in there. And then we need to make this a recharge, similar to like I have on Excalibur. We're just gonna put brackets recharge streaks, that's how it works. Cool. Just so they can't use this every single turn. Because that would be stupid. Hostile creatures less than 1 chroma to damage the effigy? What effigy? What effigy? I suppose to make it consistent. Yeah. Alright. Hostile creatures. There we go. Hostile creatures in the cone. Make the save. This much damage, or half on a successful save. Beautiful. Multi-attack Chroma makes 2 attacks with its greatsword. And the greatsword is that. Swish, swish. Heal. I mean, that's all we really need on a Chroma Initiate. We got the enhanced bullet jump. We got the chromatic breath. We just need to make sure that these stats up here are all making sense. Armor class 14 for natural armor is fine. Hit point 75. We got a +1 con modifier. So it's 75 divided by 5.5. We were aiming for about 13.6 die. You know what? I'm going to go slightly higher on the hit points. 14 times 5.5 is 77. Boom. And there we are. That is a completed Chroma Initiate right there. It is basically a Dragonborn fighter. Shit. Hey yo, Airsoft Sniper coming in with the 6 months of Prime. Airsoft, thank you very much for continuing your sub here on the channel. You're a legend, my dude. Oh. Appreciate it. And enjoy your golden teacup now. You're up onto gold. Alright. I think that works just fine for now. I think that works just fine. We don't need anything too crazy. It's challenge rating 4 at the end of the day. There's not a lot of crazy we can do with it. But let's take it along to the next one. So we need to do the page splitter, which is... You can tell it's been a few weeks. Oh, 2 weeks. Bring in my page splitter. And then we'll copy this over to do the Chroma Adept. We'll pop this one onto that side. Like I was saying, it's a Dragon Ball fighter. You can change elements. That's what I feel low power Chroma should be. Yeah, it pretty much lands, doesn't it? Oh, I didn't do the XP as well. It's challenge rating 4, which is 100. There we go. Beautiful. All right, Chroma Adept. We're jumping up to challenge rating 9 now. Challenge rating 9 opens up 5,000 XP. So let's pop that onto there. There we go. Once again, we're aiming for pretty flat across the board stats. 16,135 is our approximate aim here. We'll just put those in now, so remember to roughly aim for those. Stat-wise, my stat sheet says I need to give them a total of a +8 across the board from where we were before, including a +2 into their charisma. So charisma, yeah, we'll take this one up to a 9, just to kind of sell the chromatic side of it, the draconic side of it, because most dragons are a bit more charismatic, but it's still a -1. That's fine. And then we've got 6 more points to distribute across the others. I think for those points, I'm going to put... Yeah, we'll put one into everything to get started, and then the extra one can go into strength. The strength will go up to an 18, dex will go up to a 12, con will go up to a 14, int will go up to an 18, and whiz will go up to a 12. There we go, that makes perception at this tier, which is going to have a +4 proficiency bonus, by the way. Yeah, +4 efficiency bonus. The perception is now going to be a +5. The stealth is also going to be a +5. And I suppose we add on athletics. Mr. Jumpy Boy is going to have a +8 to athletics, just because screw you trying to run from a dragon. What did you think was going to happen? That all seems good in terms of basic stats there. Enhanced bullet jump. The vertical has increased. It's now 14 vertical. And a 36 horizontal. Yikes, I do not want to face this guy. Maybe Knowledge Arcana later on? Yeah, I can do that later on. We absolutely can do that later. Okay, so we got our actions from before. We can have a look into how that all works out in just a moment. As I've said, just built my first PC. Why is the latest on cross-save in Warframe? The latest is they're working on it, but they have absolutely no update to give us, Airsoft. That's what. We will know when we know, but right now we know nothing, other than they want to. It is something being worked on. Soon, TM. Let's see, where is the spellcasting section on Calavan? Let me just copy that section over so I don't get it wrong in formatting. Because formatting is very important. That is how you show that you are doing this properly, like including that mark there. There we go. Oh dear, that's put it under actions. There we go. Alright then. So, Chroma's second ability, Elemental Ward. Now that's one I can definitely use the name of. As a spell, Elemental Ward. Yeah, so we're going to go for... oops. Spell. 1 action. 1 minute duration on this. It's prime soon, Airsoft, yep, absolutely. The Chroma's innate spellcasting ability is Intelligence. Spell save DC is definitely not 12. That is going to be 4 plus 4 plus 8. 16. Which, by the way, also means that this is 16. You can innately cast the following spell, which is going to be Elemental Ward. You'll notice, by the way, the fact that I've chosen to put Chromatic Breath as an action rather than a spell means that it also cannot be counterspelled. That is an intentional choice. The infusion of dragon and Warframe dragon biology and Warframe technology leading to this non-magical Chromatic Breath is very, very intentional here. I had planned that prior to the stream. You have fun, Rainuva. Or at least as much fun as you can have at the call center. Yeah. Alright, Elemental Ward, spell, 1 action, 1 minute. That bit is easy to think about. What we need to think about is how we're going to use this. So we've got Elemental Ward normally. It offers you these damages and damage reflections and armor bonuses and shield bonuses or holster speed stuff. There's all kinds of things available. I mean, look at this. Tabs. 4 tabs in an ability is a scary thing to look at on a wiki. It is a scary, scary thing to look at. However, I like the idea of working from this one. Hello, Strikio. How you doing? I like the idea of working from this one. Generates a flame aura around Chroma and affects allies that increases base health and inflicts heat damage per second within a radius around them with a status chance. Now, status chance, we could just throw that out. We don't care about status chance. We can have the aura of damage. And we can have the health boosting. We don't need to worry too much about these other bits and pieces, because armor increase, as much as we could do that, I'll be quite honest with you, it's just not really necessary. And more than anything, it could mess up encounter mathematics in ways that we can't expect, whereas pure hit points were kind of safe to play with, because we have an easy idea as to how much that's going to generate. So what we can do is, on cast, this spell will give Chroma and their allies a health buff, or rather, it will give them temporary hit points. I know I'm usually reserving that for shields. I guess the electricity one does shield, so we can base it off that. So we're going to give them temporary hit points on cast. We're going to have this damaging aura around. Red Boy say, hi, C usually feels worse compared to high HP. True, yes. Players prefer to hit, but then have to keep hitting, rather than miss and keep rolling for a hit. You're very right there. So temporary hit points, no armor buff. Holster speed isn't even a thing we even care about in Warframe these days, let alone in Dungeons & Dragons, so that's just not a question. And then we can make it where the aura is a damage type matching the last chromatic breath that Chroma used. Or switches if he uses chromatic breath. So you can cast it, have it default to fire. So just put that in the spell ability. And then if Chroma has used chromatic breath or uses chromatic breath, the damage type of elemental ward changes to match that chromatic breath. Trickyio saying, if I can give you one suggestion, try to do it with Cypher System. It's so smart and funny for every fun-made roleplay game. Trickyio, why are you advertising a different system when I'm quite clearly 30 pages into a document based in 5th edition Warframe, Dungeons & Dragons? That is a strange thing to do, to come into a Dungeons & Dragons stream and to just suggest an entirely different system. So if I can give you one suggestion, maybe don't do that. That comes across like you're trying to sell someone else's product, and that's a quick way to getting timed out forever. If that's not the way you mean it, fair do. Take on board the suggestion, don't sound like a shill. It's a very tone-deaf suggestion right there. So, with the Elemental Ward, let's get this typing in. Chroma... Let me see. Chroma... Chroma exudes... No, that sounds very biological. What makes it more arcane? Chroma generates? Yeah, Chroma generates an elemental feel, elemental aura around them. Let's just go with the word aura. I wanted to avoid aura, but aura just fits. Chroma generates an elemental aura around them, supporting their allies and harming enemies. Tries to say each option gives a damage aura of the element X damage. Additionally, elements confirm and follow. Oh goodness, no. No, Jason, no. We don't want the DM to have to deal with too many options. This is Warframe themed, not Warframe copy-paste. This is absolutely not suitable for use in Dungeons & Dragons. This is video game stuff. Dungeons & Dragons, you're having to use dice. You're having to tick numbers off a sheet. You're having to take turns where each turn, or each round of turns around a table can take 15 minutes to half an hour if you've got a slow group. Absolutely, we do not need to throw in even more stuff. But we'll keep this simple, because if it's simple, it's something that the players can learn about and counter, and it's also something that is more balanced, rather than giving a bajillion options to Chroma. Now they have something for everything. I'm trying to keep it pared down whilst keeping the theme of Chroma. So, Chroma generates an elemental aura around them, supporting their allies and harming enemies. Allies Chroma and allies. Chroma and its allies within 15 feet on cast. Again, let me think here. How many temporary hit points? I'm thinking 10 might be a suitable amount here. No, actually, that might be a bit low. No, for challenge rating 9, I'm going to give it a chunk. And in fact, I'm going to make it 2 times the intelligence value. Yeah, because the intelligence is 18. If I make it 36, that's a lot. Might be too much, actually, for a single spell. No, for a single spell, that's too much. 1 times the intelligence. 18. 18 temporary hit points. Matching the intelligence score there. Cosmos, hey, just got here. Warframe donated 40 subs. Well, they didn't donate them, they gifted them, but otherwise, yeah. Subtle difference that you don't need to actually worry about. Yes, they did. Roughly safe, especially if you throw in multiple other enemies, it's huge difficulty to run multiple things without forgetting something. Exactly, yes. You've got to remember, these Warframes aren't always going to run solo. In fact, solo monsters in 5th edition is a terrible idea. Certainly monsters that don't have a million condition immunities, like Warframes don't. You want to be running them alongside other things, be that other Warframes, or alongside beast companions, robotic companions, known as constructs in this. That kind of thing. Alright, Strikio, I made a point. You're still trying to sell someone else's system when I very clearly made a point about this being 5th edition. So, you know what? I think if you really want to come back to this stream, you can just sit back and watch for a bit. You could just sit back and watch. You don't need to type about a system that we're clearly not going to play. Don't do that. It is exceedingly rude. Alright, random say, keep the idea of the 4 spells, have passive and active splits. Sorry, what? An idea keeping the idea of 4 spells, have the passive and active effect split. We mean for this as 4 different spells. Problem with that is then how many casts we're doing. Because I'll be switching Chroma over to having a spell slot based system, separate from all of the other monsters so far. That's already a bit weird. And then that's going to give the Adept a whole bunch of spells, and we've still got to do the Master and the Prime on top of that. It's not supposed to be that complicated. It's really not. Overly complicated options is where DMs just end up going, where's the fireball button? We don't need an individual like this to be that complicated. I get that you're seeing that there are 4 options here, but I'm making the design decision to cut this down, not because I don't want to talk about it. I'm cutting it down because we got to fit it onto these sheets. This is pretty much the test of, is this a Warframe document with Dungeons & Dragons theme, or a Dungeons & Dragons document with a Warframe theme? And it's definitely the latter. A D&D document with a Warframe theme. So, Elemental Ward here. Chroma generates an elemental aura around them, supporting their allies and harming their enemies. Chroma and its allies within 15 feet on cast gain 18 temporary hit points. Creatures hostile to Chroma. Let's start their turn within the... I'm saying within the aura, I haven't said. Creates elemental aura in a 15-foot radius around them. Chroma and its allies within the aura. There we are. Then I can use the aura later on. Exactly, Penguin. Yeah. Even as a player, sometimes I just look for the fireball button. Overly complicated things are for video games. Tabletop games aren't supposed to be overly complicated. They're supposed to give you enough options to create an interesting narrative. Very, very big difference. So, creatures hostile to Chroma that start their turn within the aura, or enter the aura for the first time on their turn or a turn. If I say their turn, it's only if they move into the area. If I say on a turn, then if they're brought into the aura, that also counts. No, that would also include Chroma walking. That'd be weird. No, on their turn. So, creatures hostile to Chroma that start their turn within the aura or enter the aura for the first time on a turn must make a... Let's make this Constitution. This is just the sheer presence of this aura, the sheer force of it. It's not something you can dodge, it's not something you can brace against, you just have to survive it. I don't want Chroma firing from the party, force him to take aura damage. No, Chroma can bullet jump through the party doing their chromatic breaths. That would work, Jason. The creatures hostile to Chroma at the start of their turn with the aura or enter the aura for the first time on their turn and must make a Constitution saving throw. And the DC against the intelligence is going to be, as we said, 16. On a failed saving throw, creature takes... Or I should say the creature, technically speaking. The creature takes some amount of damage. Let's see, how much damage are we needing to scale up? So, we've gone from 25 per turn to 45 per turn. Which is only an increase of 20 per turn. So, if I made it with Elemental Ward here... If I went for 2d10 damage... Because it's a 15-foot radius, that might just line up. Let's see how that figures out. I'll aim for 2d10 for the moment. 2d10 fire damage. Or half on a successful save. The damage type of this spell changes when Chroma uses its chromatic breath ability, whether before or after this spell is cast. So the default is fire damage, just for the DM to go, I don't know what I used last. Let's say it's fire. But if Chroma uses Chromatic Breath before or after casting a spell, that is the damage type it should be using. So in that way, by casting Chromatic Breath, Chroma changes their element. And that gives a bit of a synergy there for them as well, is that they can start with the Elemental Ward at fire. Like, the idea is that a smart Chroma might do that, just have that going around, whether it's fire or a different element to start with. And then if they notice that the creatures they're facing are actually resisting that, then they use their Chromatic Breath to change the element of the aura to switch it over to something else. So that should work. So Chroma generates an elemental aura in a 15-foot radius around them, supporting allies and harming enemies. Chroma its allies within the aura on cast gain 18 temporary hit points. Creatures hostile to Chroma that start the turn with a new aura or enter the aura for the first time on their turn must make a con save. If they fail, they take 11 fire damage or half on a successful one. And then the damage type of the spell changes when Chroma uses its Chromatic Breath ability, whether before or after this spell is cast. I think that pretty much covers it. That should be nice and solid on that side. So let's see where we're at in terms of damage output so far, and then we'll figure out the rest on this. I think I'm happy to leave this as being considered a 3rd level spell. Like it's powerful, but it's not like crazy good. No, actually, it could do quite a bit of damage over time, can't it? Because what's the average of 8d6? Average of 8d6 is 4 times 7, which is 28 damage. This could do 22 across 2 turns, and it can last as far as 10 turns. No, this is definitely a 4th level spell. That's definitely 4th level. It's not 3rd level. It's 4th. Right. I could even be convinced 5th, but I'm going to stick with 4th. So, let's see then. How would this turn out for Chroma? Now, that's also taking up an action there. But in taking up that action, let's say that they again catch 2 enemies in their aura. So they're dealing the 22 damage. We follow this up with the Chromatic Breath. That's going to hit 2 enemies. I might just increase the damage on that out of general principle. Let's make that 10d6. Which will make this now 35. It's got 22 per turn, and that's just going to happen every single turn now. It's 22 times 3. We've got the 35 happening to 2 creatures. That's a 70. And then we got the Great Sword Attack to finish off run 18. Divided by 3, that is a total of 51. That is... Ooh! That's challenge 10-ish damage. And what's supposed to be a challenge 9 creature. That is quite a bit. And the DC is challenge 10 as well. Okay. I think I'll tone down the aura a little bit then. We'll tone down the aura. That's just slightly overcooking it. Make that 2d8. Bring this down to 9. Which comes out to now 47 damage per turn, average, over 3 turns. And that's pretty much bang on where we need it. There we go. Just a teeny tiny tweak. Teeny tiny tweak to the damage output there. And that's not even taking into account the 18 temporary hit points on Chroma themselves. Not that much. If they have a group, then it starts to scale up quite nicely. We don't need any concentration on this. This can just kind of sit there. It's supposed to be pretty intimidating. It's just marching forwards. Being Constitution, your tankier characters can just kind of wade into it, whereas your squishies are going to like, no, get away, get away, get away. So that works as well. Chroma is very much wanting to just kind of march up to you and smack you in the face with everything he's got. I think that's looking good, chat. Excuse me. Need to drink some more. There goes the last of that tea. That gives us a Chroma Adept. I just had it, Saren. I just had it. Alright. We'll have some water as well. Cheers. Yeah, that is a Chroma Adept we can be happy with. So, page. Let's switch over to doing the Chroma Master. Now, on a formatting basis, I shouldn't need too much more space here. So what I can do is actually do 2 single columns, have just like the attacks up here, or the actions up here, and then I'll have space to put in a Chroma image later. I can leave that open. Let's start leveling this up. So, challenge rating is now an aim of 14. 14 is 11,500 in the XP department. Proficiency is now going to be a +5. The stats that we're going to be aiming for. Challenge rating 14, we're aiming for about 17 AC, 210 hit points. I did not do the dice on that one. Let me fix that as well. 135 was our approximate aim. What do we actually do? 135 divided by 6.5 is 20 point something. Let's do 21. Maybe this 136. There we go. That works. Right then, so moving on to the bits and pieces here. Bring up suggested Arcana. We can absolutely add on Arcana here now, which will be plus something. Stats wise, these need to increase by 1 to everything but Charisma. We now have Strength of 20, a Dexterity of 14, a Constitution of 16, an Intelligence of 20, and a Whiz of 14. DMs absolutely have my permission with every single Warframe in this document to make them outsmart the players. That's kind of the point. They're supposed to be very good at what they do. So yeah, definitely have them outsmart the players. Especially with that plus 10 to Arcana, like that is not a small bonus. That is not something you can easily get around. Alright, twice per turn they can jump even further. This vertical is now 16? Yeah, 16. The horizontal is now 40. They can barely even use that full horizontal, to be honest. They have to really want to be jumping horizontally to fully use that. In fact, I might even enhance this further at this point to accommodate that. How can I properly accommodate that? Do I give Chroma a bit more speed, chat? For Chroma Master, do I give them a bit more speed? Bring this up to, say, 35 foot? Or maybe even 40 foot? Here's the thing, Penguin, is that by D&D rules, you can't jump further than your movement speed. If you jump and you haven't got enough movement left, you simply fall. So, if you wanted to jump 40 foot horizontal as Chroma, you'd need to dash to get your speed from 30 to 60 to then be able to go 40 feet horizontal. Whereas if I make his speed 40 foot, he then gets the full distance without having to dash. But to get the double jump, double bullet jump even, for that he would then need to use dash. But with this means that now, with a dash, this Chroma Master can look at an 80 foot gap, and with no run up whatsoever, just standing on the ledge, great sword in hand, double bullet jump across that gap. This is definitely a little bit dangerous. That sounds like a Warframe to you? It sounds like a Warframe to me, yeah. He's all the way over there. He's 80 feet away. He's wearing some kind of strange, heavy, pelted armor. Look at him. It's beef. What's he going to do? Well, he's certainly not going to pull a Palpatine on us and just bullet jump all the way across here, sword in hand. No, that's not going to happen, is it? Chroma proceeds to Palpatine. Lightning damage and everything, you know. That is definitely going to be a bit on the oh shit side for them, isn't it? Right. Let's have a look then. So I'm not going to need to make any changes to the rest of these features here. I'm willing to update these DCs. The intelligence one is making that DC an 18. That DC is an 18. This DC is an 18. I'm not going to touch the damage stat on that for now. We'll see what we'll need to do on that. Chroma doesn't have very good sustain, by the way. As soon as their elemental ward runs out, they're basically just on greatswords, which is just chop, chop, shit, now what? They are a bit weak on that side. They don't have sustain. Well, that's fine. D&D fights don't sustain anyway. Also, with a 16-foot vertical, Chroma can legitimately just bullet jump 32 feet in the air by going jump, jump again. Or they can even go 16 feet up and then 40 foot horizontally. That is a thing that he can do. Just up and across, defying all physics and probably various schools of magic to just kind of go. Chroma is dangerous. Just in their sheer movements is enough to make players go, wait, that's not allowed. That is not allowed. Yeah, it is. So let's add on the Vex Armor, which is of course going to be a spell. Do I make this one a bonus action? I make this one a bonus action. This is one we want them to cast at the start. I'm making this a bonus action. So spell, 1 bonus action, 1 minute. Now if a smart player or smart character has studied warframes and goes, I know that this one is Chroma, and Chroma can cast Vex Armor at the start of this fight, they will then see that they're casting a spell and be like, nope, counterspell that one. Counterspell it, they are not allowed to cast that. Lap of Featherfall effects on me will be terrifying. I mean, the sheer amount that they can jump probably covers that. Probably. In any case, let's follow this one along. So I'm going to make this one bonus action so that you can cast it at the start while still opening up them with their Chromatic Breath and then into Elemental Ward, or vice versa. They could go Elemental Ward, next turn, Vex Armor, Chromatic Breath. Either which way they want to do it, those are available. The idea is Vex Armor and Chromatic Breath can be cast at the same turn. Hello, Esprit. Also, no. We're doing something far more interesting than just a Chromatic Dragon stat block. We've got a whole Elemental Ward going on here. This is something that some 4th edition dragons have, but 5th edition dragons have never even heard of it. This is far more impressive than what some dragons can pull off these days. So, with Vex Armor, now the way that this one works in Warframe, you take damage on shields, you gain armor, you take damage on health, and you gain damage. Which is, well, a thing. Taking damage on shields is not a thing, however, in D&D. I'm using temporary hit points in place of shields in a lot of cases, but we can't just rely on those being there for Vex Armor. So I could just skip that entirely and instead have it that if Chroma takes damage, then Chroma and Chroma's allies deal more damage. How exactly do I want to do that? Or I could just make it like a Thorns effect. I could just completely rework Vex Armor, but that's probably not true to what I'm doing here. I'm not just using the base name and then walking away from it. I want to try and get this one closer to the ability. I've cut a lot out of Elemental Ward. Vex Armor I'd like to make closer. So... I added Flight? When did I add Flight? I mean, I added Enhanced Bullet Jumps in a crazy level, but I didn't add Flight. They can go up and up, yeah, but they're not flying. Totally different. They're jumping on the air, not flying. Very, very different things. I might make it where Effigy, rather than throwing off his pelt, it is just Chroma gains the flight as well. Or Chroma gains flight and has Effigy. That would be fine, yeah. We'll do that. But for now, Vex Armor, I'm stuck on this one for the moment. I'm actually genuinely stuck here. I'm genuinely stuck. How are we going to do this one? Does he need flight? He doesn't need it, Cat Tongue, but when you're in the very high levels of play, giving something flight isn't really that overpowered. Not having flight, however, leaves you very vulnerable to those who do, especially as I don't have a range attack on Chroma so far. I just noticed that. I've never given him a range attack. Exclamation, most direct translation would be 1dx of something for every 38 points lost. Yeah. But this has got to apply to allies as well. I'm trying to keep that level of balance going. This is tough. Yeah. I might just go that route, Jason, because it's the simplest, least busy work. If Chroma takes damage, then him and his allies all gain X amount of damage until the end of Chroma's next turn. That should work, shouldn't it? Yeah, that should work. That should work. We don't need to go anything crazy on it. We could just be like, it's plus 5 damage, it's from the intelligence. Which, that should be fine. Also, yeah, speaking of intelligence, that improves to 20 because it's matching the int score. So yeah. Chroma's armor ignites with arcane energy, augmenting the attacks, augmenting its attacks and the attacks of its allies when struck. Now, I don't think I want to make it points of damage, Jason, because again, that's going into busy work. I could make it crits do more. If it takes a hit, it's such and such. If they receive a crit, then the effect is doubled. So players like, haha, yes, we scored a critical hit. And like, yeah, and you see even more energy burst off of it. Oh shit, we scored a critical hit. Just kind of a Uno reverse card. Minimizes the busy work, still keeps the big hit feeling you're going for. How does that sound? Because that also then creates a kind of a tactic for dealing with Chroma, which is lots of smaller hits are better. Rather than just X hit points means X problem. Azim, you'd be okay with the kind of busy work? I mean, Jason, you're also the kind of person who tunes into a let's make a Warframe into a D&D monster stream, giving very helpful information along the way. As you say yourself, you're a sadist who loves numbers. Most DMs aren't. Oh, and Addy's here, so time to change the music. We've been enjoying a lot of chill ambient for a while. It has come to an end. Now. Just as let the last piano notes fall out of that last tune there. Oh, it's absolutely a compliment, Jason. It is absolutely a compliment. It is not a bad thing to be well invested into a hobby and to understand it and follow it well enough to be able to take on more advanced aspects of it. But I am designing it, bearing in mind that you're an outlier. Ray saying this is EDM, not rock. Yeah. Ray, what's the problem? I see a request for EDM, and it is Addy's request, as usual. I'm missing something, aren't I? Or Rain Over is, I don't know. Joyce saying, say, something less busy work, definitely the crit mechanic is suggested. Go in, we can have it add flat 5 damage to its allies' attacks. No math involved, still decent impact. That's what I was thinking, yeah. 5 damage if you get hit. If Chroma gets hit. If Chroma gets crit, then Chroma imparts a 10 damage boost rather than 5. Oh, I see, right. Right, that went over my head. I suppose because the setup wasn't there. Alright, let's do this. So, Chroma's armor ignites with arcane energy, augmented its attacks and the attacks of its allies when struck. When for the duration, when Chroma is hit by an attack or takes damage from a spell, I'm specifically leaving out traps and environmental damage. This is specifically attacks and spells to make it a kind of a rebuke rather than just a general buff. Yes, I'm basically fighting combat discipline aura, even though it doesn't exist here, but sure. So, for the duration, when Chroma is hit by an attack or takes damage from a spell, Chroma and its allies within... let's make it 30 feet. Yeah, let's make it 30 feet. Give this one a bit of a wider berth, whereas the elemental ward is smaller. So Chroma and its allies within 30 feet gain an additional... not an additional, just gain... No, not gain. Deal 5 extra fire damage with their weapon attacks until the end of Chroma's next turn. Yeah. If Chroma is struck with a critical hit, damage bonus is instead 10. Damage bonus is 10 instead. There we are. And then, just as here, the damage type of this spell changes when Chroma uses its chromatic rep ability, whether before or after this spell is cast. Ignore the formatting going crazy over there, we'll fix that. In fact, I'll fix that right there, right now. There we go. Everything is fine, chat. Everything is fine. So, Vex Armor, Chroma's armor ignites with arcane energy, augmenting its attacks and the attacks of its allies when struck. For the duration, when Chroma is hit by an attack or takes damage from a spell, Chroma and its allies within 30 feet deal 5 extra fire damage with their weapon attacks until the end of Chroma's next turn. If Chroma is struck with a critical hit, the damage bonus is 10 instead. The damage type of this spell changes when Chroma uses its chromatic breath ability, whether before or after this spell is cast. Esprit asking just a flat number? Yes. 2 reasons on that. 1, it's a nice consistent amount. Just nice flat, put it out there amount. And in fact, I'm using 5 is the int modifier. So what I can do is on the prime make that 6 and 12 because int modifier. Second reason, Esprit, is that this means that crits don't get overscaled. Flat damage numbers do not double on critical hits, at least if you're playing by vanilla rules. So if Chroma or an ally lands a critical hit, it's not completely throwing out the damage equation, it's just a little bit more. So this should be okay. This should be okay. But yeah, the idea of using a flat damage there is intentional. It just keeps it a little bit more in line. The lows are higher, the highs are lower. We got our area. But still, the doubling on crit, I like that. The idea of a bigger hit leading to a bigger result. It's come out nicely. So, 1 per short rest. We got Elemental Ward at 4th level because it's barely changed. It's still 4th level. I mean, I could up the range on it a bit. So this is supposed to be a more dangerous frame. Feck it. 30 foot. I know I just said about having Elemental Ward have a smaller area than Vex Armor, but you know, sod it. No. The players can die. Vex armor. 6th level. Boom. That sounds a lot better. If the players wanted to survive, they shouldn't have faced a Chroma Master, you know? That's the whole idea, is that most people will face one of these and die. Players can survive because they're... Well, players get enough bonuses as it is already, you know? Players will probably steamroll this Chroma Master if it's alone. Or if they cast Hold Monster and that's it. But that should cause enough of a problem for players to go, how do we deal with this? And that's what we want. It's completely manageable, but they've just watched Vex Armor be cast, so if you strike Chroma and its allies deal more damage. And then next turn, Chroma throws out the Elemental Ward, or they might have already done that, giving out temporary hit points as well, and the players are kind of going, we're in a bit of trouble here, aren't we? We're in a bit of trouble. And the DM's like, yes, you are. This is part Warframe, part Dragon. Get fucked, you know. That's a good approach. That is a good approach. So, now we need to roll this back, check how the damage stats are all coming together, see what alterations I need to make on this to balance up to these kind of stats we're looking at here, you know. So let's see where we are on that. I'm going to run with the assumption that turn 1, Elemental Ward goes up. That's just turn 1. Damage output there is going to be typically 18. We just run with that kind of idea of hitting 2 enemies. Being a 30-foot radius around Chroma, it might hit more than 2. But this is also challenge 14, so maybe not. So we're going to say that this is dealing 18 damage on turn 1. And all turns thereafter, giving a total of 54 damage from Elemental Ward. Next turn we add on Vex Armor, and we do a Great Sword attack twice. So that's only going to do 18 damage. On top of the other stuff we got going on here. And, oh wait, no, it's not 18. Oh, blast and bumblefuck. Alright, Chroma Adept, this is not 9 down here. I don't know why I ever thought this was 9. This is supposed to be 11. Because this got improved to a +4. Yeah, no one caught that, did we? There we go, let me just fix that one. This is actually a 12 over here. This is a +5. There we are, alright then, that's slightly different information there. There we go. Alright, after using that, we got the Vex Armor. Oh, I've said we're using a Greatsword. We're not using a Greatsword. Why would you use a Greatsword? We've got Chromatic Breath. That's going to deal 70. There we are. And then... So we've done Elemental Ward, we've done Vex Armor, we've done Chromatic Breath. Then it will be the Greatsword, which is 24. Which we can assume gets the damage bonus as well from Vex Armor. So we'll deal an additional 10 damage. This comes out to 158, which is 52 over 3 turns. And if we have a look at challenge 14, we need to be at 70, not 52. Oh, so I can add loads of buffs everywhere. Ooh, I can add buffs on this. This is good. This is good. So I can make the Elemental Ward deal more damage. Let's make that... Let's see, how much damage do I need to add on? I need to add on over 3 turns. I'm at 52-ish at the moment. I want to aim for about 70-ish. I'm sure about... Yeah, 18, 54, 55. I'm sure about 55 damage. So if we increase this to 48, which made this 18, that takes off 27 of the damage we need to get. So just another 27 in here somewhere. The Vex Armor is going to be doing some work on that side, but I hadn't increased the Chromatic Breath. I can improve this to 12d6 for another 7 damage, will be 14. No, let's do that even further. Let's go 14d6. 7, 14, 49. Alright, there we are, chat. Is it time to replace the Greatsword with the Gram? No, Gram Prime is on the Prime. Chroma Prime, Gram Prime. We're not going to use just Gram, because just Gram is just, it's just a Greatsword. Gram Prime. That's something special. That is something special. So here, there we go. We got a 12 damage basic attack. We've got the Chromatic Breath there for 49 damage of a type that Chroma chooses. Don't forget that. This isn't fire damage. This is fire or poison or lightning or cold. Take that, whoever wants to try and preempt the resistance. It's Chroma, you can't. And yes, Rainover is a Trinity supporter. Like, the only Trinity in existence. Esprit has had the 3 different potentials to bring together. Like doing a run through Slay the Spire. Esprit has managed to get all 3 keys, but Rainover was the first to get them at the same time. Ray is the true Trinity at this moment in time. Not to put down Esprit on that one. Not putting you down at all whatsoever, mate. But I think it's recognising the fact that you are one of the only people to have reached that tier of support. Everyone affords what they can afford. If any of you here affords any level of support beyond just whatever adverts YouTube and Twitch throws at you, then you are outclassing the vast majority of everyone. And you have my honest to God thanks on that, because seriously, without that support, the channel wouldn't be where it is. That's just a fact. I wouldn't be able to be a full-time content creator without the support you guys give me. That's just a fact. And so you probably never would have got a Varuna video as involved as the one I put out yesterday. Good God. Whew, that was a lot of research. Let's see on this. We got 48 out to 30. I'm reconsidering this 30-foot range increase now. Yeah, no. I'm going to bring that down to 20. It's still larger than 15 it was before, but it's not a lot larger. It's just 1 square bigger. We've given it Firestorm, not Prime Firestorm. Yeah. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with all of that lot. That is in a good spot there for a Chroma Master. That will make for an interesting monster to face. Dangerously powerful leaping, the 40-foot speed, it's just bounding all over the place. The Vex Armor, the Elemental Ward, the Chromatic Breath. Like, you can imagine, mid-jump, as it's jumping over the players, doing a 40-foot long jump, which means it can reach 10 foot of height. Oh my. Sorry. Yeah. Can we just grab that for a moment? A horizontal jump has a clearance of 1/4 the jump height, if I recall correctly. So if you have a 40-foot horizontal jump, which Chroma has innately, that is a 10-foot height on that jump. So if Chroma is 20 feet away from the party, Chroma can literally bullet jump over the party, Chromatic Breath down on them mid-jump, and land on the other side, 20 feet away from them. Full-on superhero landing, as there's just burning players behind them. Ooh. This is what Chroma should feel like. This is absolutely what Chroma should feel like. Not somebody who just casts a couple auras and calls it a day. Just, yeah, Chroma. Just Chroma. Alright. Let's continue on then, because we got the Chroma Master. We can get straight on into the Chroma Prime, can't we? It's Chroma Warframe pressing 2 and 3 every 40 seconds. I mean, yeah, that's pretty much it, isn't it? You just keep up a couple of auras. I'm sure these are mostly aura-y things as well, but they just feel more. Chroma can excel elements to rocket jump. We've reinvented rocket jumping. Oh dear. Maybe Chroma should have good acrobatics so you can see landing. We'll put that onto the Prime Penguin. We'll put that onto the Prime. It's like the Prime learned from the faults of the Master that they need acrobatics training. We'll do it that way. Let's copy the details we've got so far. Pop it onto its new page. This is going to be the Prime page. Let's make this now a double spread. Yes, it's going to make the formatting look all funky for a second. I will fix that. What's happening there? That looks so weird. Yeah. Don't know what's happening with that formatting, but there we go. It's in place. The Chroma Master will take up this spot here. So I've got that space open to put in some Chroma imagery. As and when I get around to putting imagery into all of this lot, basically. So. I haven't finished doing the stuff up here, have I? God damn it. I just realised I haven't done the hit points. 210 is the aim. We have a con mod of 3. So that is what, 75, 7.5, 28. There we are. 28d8 plus 28 times 3 is, my calculator says 84. There we go. Right, okay. Now we can do the Prime. Now we can do the Prime, and this is going to be plenty devastating. Challenge rating 19. I have AC 19, hit points 285 as the suggestion. Oh, that is just beautifully dangerous. 19 having 22,000 XP. Beautiful. Stats across the board can all be a plus or 1. Is it +1 across the board, actually? Let me just check that before I do it. Yes, it is. It is. There we go. That is incorrect. And that goes up to 11. Yeah, for a 0. Is the pelt a separate monster under his command during combat? I'm not sure that we need to make it as a separate monster. Because can the pelt be attacked normally? Chroma sheds its pelt, Stacy Sentry. It has a lot of health, like a lot of health. That is a lot of health right there for the Sentry. So you know what? We'll just make it where it's not really an attackable thing. We don't need to make it its own monster, or we can give it just some basic stuff, but it just kind of exists. It's going to be stationary, so it's not going to need movement stats or anything like that, so we can just kind of have it more as an object rather than as a creature. There are spells that do that kind of thing, so we can get away with that. It's more like an object. Not a lot of armor for your HP. Yeah, it's not got a lot of armor, but it still has a lot of hit points as the base ability in Warframe. The idea I'm taking from that is that Warframe doesn't expect it to die in normal levels. You remember, this was made before the Steel Path existed. So, pre-Steel Path, something having 8,000 health is kind of a big deal. Just a bit of a big deal. Oh, the Hell Sage, how you doing today? Oh, you using the follow mode though. It's just reminded me to mention to everyone, Twitch has made a change to emotes here on, well, Twitch. The follower emotes. I don't know how many of you have noticed that there are some modes which are specifically for followers. So it's the Ken 18 SIP, deal with it, approve, and then the high and GGs. Those are now available for use across the entirety of Twitch if you're a subscriber. So that's a thing. That's a thing now, yeah. Your front page recommended my stream to you? Oh, well. Thank you very much, Twitch front page. Welcome in Hellsage. Have you ever played Warframe yourself then? How much armor is overpowered? It depends on which game you're talking about. If you're talking about in Dungeons & Dragons, armor classes over 20 are considered very strong. Whereas if you're talking Warframe, then you need thousands of armor for it to be considered strong. Like, really strong. Certainly with the way that armor scales in Warframe, more armor doesn't really do a lot after a certain point. Like, you have to really scale it. You have 2k-ish. Okay, so we're talking Warframe armor, because there's no way you have 2,000 in D&D. Could you imagine? AC 2,000. That sounds more like a gun than a armor class. But yeah, 2,000 armor is a good amount, because thinking in the armor equation, 2,000 divided by 2,300, which is how you calculate your damage reduction, that gives you a damage reduction of basically about 87%. That is a very good armor value. 87% damage reduction is a very good armor value to have. You can't go too wrong with that. If you slap adaptation on that bad boy and have you, say, a arcane grace for just passive healing, oh, you're doing wonderfully. Also, AC 2000 sounds like a ship combat in the Star Wars 5e system. Of course, it's a Star Wars 5e system. Of course, there is. I can't even tell if that's like Star Wars' own thing or Star Wars in 5th edition. Either way, of course, there is. AC 2000 versus level 1 magic missile. Who wins? Ooh. Rough boy coming out with the awareness as to how spells work. That's cheeky. I mean, the correct answer to AC 2000 is dex save. Magic missile, sure, that can get through unless they have the shield spell. Dex save is dex save. Like, you're still gonna do the dex save. Imagine needing a Star Destroyer just to hit Chroma. Yeah, I just put the armor class 1,999. Someone's like, is this a typo? Is it meant to be 19? I'm like, no. No, critical hits only. It's Chroma Prime, what did you think? Magic armor cannot be hit by anything that isn't a crit. Also, fuck you. Yeah, let's maybe not do that. Proficiency bonus, I think it's going to be a +6 at this point. Remind myself. 5, 9, 13, 17. Yeah, it's a 6. Star Wars S mechanics on top of 5e. Fair enough, fair enough. I'm not sure how someone's throwing that together. I'd be surprised if there's a lot of 5e mechanics left at that point, but sure. Okay, so we said acrobatics is the fifth and final skill to add into here. That acrobatics using a dex of +3 is a +9. Arcana has climbed to a +12. Athletics has climbed to a +12. Perception has climbed to a +9. And stealth has climbed to a +9. The passive perception is now 19. Common and draconic can still stay where they are, so that is all good. Enhanced bullet jump. Oh, of course it's a prime. This is going to get dirty. Twice per turn, Chroma may turn a jump into a bullet jump, jumping as if it had a run up and able to cover 3 times the distance. 6 strength modifier is 9 for the base height. This is going to be 27 for vertical. Thanks. Oh my god. Chroma Prime just stood. He's at the bottom of a deep alley. You're on top of a multi-story building looking down on him. You're like, there's no way that guy down there can be any kind of threat whatsoever. I mean, yeah, he's got some fancy armor. He's got this really cool gilded greatsword, but he's all the way down there. Just leaps up, wings out and everything, belches out his chromatic breath, lands on the roof next to you, and he's just like, what the fuck was that? Yeah. Banshee Prime trailer moment? Exactly, Rainuva, yeah. That is the kind of bullet jump feel right there. Just up. This is Arcane Consequence level bullet jump. This is, yeah, this is going to be a little bit much for them to handle, isn't it? But that's the point. That is the point. I should say she becomes immortal. Yeah, but Valkyrie we'll get to her when we get to her. Valkyrie I'm not going to make straight up immortal now. We'll get to her when we get to her. How do you think he killed the dragon he's wearing? Good point, yeah. Yeah, that pelt ain't for show. This is a part dragon hunter. They know what they're doing. Chroma by law is the most powerful warframe? I'm pressing X to doubt on that one. Like, seriously. Anyway, enough random acidities. Elemental Ward. The temporary hit point is based on the end score, so we'll increase that to 22. The damage bonus on this is based on a mod, so I'll make that 6 and that 12. We'll just change those ones real quickly. DC 6, 12, 20. Oh. That is a nasty DC right there as well. Like, Elemental Ward, DC 20 if you come within 20 feet of Chroma. If you fail, take damage. If you succeed, still take damage. And because it's a con save, not a deck save, it doesn't even interact with things like the Rogue feature, which allows you to escape some of the damage from deck save stuff. This is just going to slap. Hello, Lucky Luke. How you doing? Yeah, this is going to be a little bit spicy. That's exactly what we're looking for. All right, then. Oh, not that far. Effigy. Spell. 1 action. We'll make this one concentration. I'm going to make this one a concentration. So 1 minute. Concentration. All of the tags. Because if we make this concentration, then we can allow Chroma to do a little bit more with it and design it in a way where it's supposed to last for 1 turn, but if the players don't deal with it, it can last longer. That should work. So, effigy, spell, 1 action, 1 minute, concentration. And to remind ourselves here, effigy, it creates a sentry. The sentry can put out some damage. And during that time, Chroma has a speed bonus but an armor reduction. So, how do we want to do this? Armor reduction now. I don't know if I want to directly reduce the armor or give people advantage to hit Chroma. I think advantage would be cleaner. What are we thinking, chat? Reduce the AC whilst effigy is active, or give advantage to hit Chroma? And in terms of the ability, what I'm thinking is having the sentry. The sentry can deal damage, and it's got a knockback radius, so we could even have an AoE knockback on it. I'm thinking we also can give Chroma some temporary flight, straight up. Give him a fly speed of 80 feet whilst active. Or maybe, no, 60 feet. As we're saying, reduce the AC. Or if I say reduce the AC works best, advantage is a lot easier to manage. Yeah, that's the trade-off. That is the trade-off. Between the power of the Chroma, maybe if his AC's dropped to 15 and also advantage. Oh, no. Whoa, 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 whoa. Sketch. This is supposed to be a challenge rating 19 creature. This means that this is a medium encounter for level 19 players. And not just one of them, 4 of them. The game goes from level 1 to 20. So level 19, you are very near the tippity top of your game. This is 2 levels in to actually, this is the 3rd level in of where players, if they are wizard for example, can straight up cast Wish. At that tier, having a frame do some stuff isn't actually that powerful. Just doing some bits and pieces. So we don't need to worry about kind of paring it double down. It's not going to be that strong overall. Just saying he's literally peeled off part of his shell to gain its damage turret thing, so yeah, AC reduction makes sense. Alright. We'll go for that then. We'll go for that. Renee was saying, what if Chroma could choose how much AC to drain, give its damage reduction to the effigy? I'm still wanting to go with the idea of the effigy is just kind of an entity. Especially as I'm going concentration. This spell is not going to last very long. This is very much a spell that's just kind of there until they start hitting us Chroma. And then that forces the AC back onto him, but losing the spell's benefits for the time. Grandpa's saying, with AC19, players at that tier should be hitting more than half the time. That's a good point, actually. Yeah, AC19, it's a high value, but once you're at level 19, is it really that high to hit? It's not, is it? It looks high, but it's not actually that high at this tier, no. Penguin, I love that. I absolutely love that. We don't need to go into crazy design stats for Effigy. Effigy casts Chromatic Breath each turn. Penguin, on the ball right there. Yes. Okay, cool. I've got an idea where we're going with this now. AC reduction, we're agreed on that one. There's enough people saying let's go with the AC reduction. AC reduction, Chroma gains fly speed, Effigy is doing a Chromatic Breath every turn. And Effigy can't be targeted. It can be dispelled, but it can't be targeted. You need to be hitting Chroma, who's currently flying around. Yeah. Yeah, that's sold. I'm sold on that. We're doing it. All right, let's do this. So, Chroma sheds its outer pelt, creating an animated sentry from it. The Chroma sheds its outer belt, creating an animated sentry from it. For the duration of the spell, no. Until the spell ends, Chroma's AC is reduced to 14. So that's from 19 down to 14. That's a 5-point drop, which is huge. But is about comparable to having advantage on a 50-50 hit. So Chroma's HG is reduced to 14. And gains a fly speed. Yeah, it gains a 14. Its speed increases to 60 foot. And gains a fly speed of 60 foot. Because I'm leaning into the draconic kind of feel here. We're not just got the sentry. Chroma is full on taken to the skies with this one. This absolutely works. Grandparents saying 14 seems too low. Players at level 4, which you need 12 bonuses. Only that one will miss. You have a point there. Maybe. On the flip side, Grumpy Pants, maybe that's what we want. Maybe that is the point, is that you absolutely can hit that he's very vulnerable to weapon attacks. He's basically thrown off his armor against the top level stuff. If we make it 16, it's still very easy to hit. And if we don't make it even as low as 16, then it's not really much of a debuff. You know what? I'm putting a poll on this one. You guys get to decide, and I'll take the poll whichever way it goes. So, what AC should we drop to? 16 or 14? Those are the two options. There we are. Simple poll. Should increase AC to 20 to make 16 more of a debuff. I don't know if I wanted to take his AC that much further. I mean, with the guide I'm running on here, 20 is going to be more of a CR21 creature for a typical line. Bearing in mind that Chroma also gets benefits from being hit if they got their Vex armor up. It's seeming pretty unanimous so far that 16 should be the AC that it drops down to. So instead of 14, we're looking at 16. The votes are unanimous. Alright. We'll keep it at 19 for the main AC, but drop down to 16. This is the kind of thing that, when playtested, we can see actually how much of a problem it is one way or the other. But this still gives us a point of creation for now. Hello, Kyria. How you doing? Grandpa saying, I feel like if I had a spell as a player that reduces target's AC by 3, it'd feel strong. Counterpoint, it reduces by 3, it gives it a flight speed, increases its speed, and also creates a sentry. It's still a lot going on. But yeah, 3 is still a big drop. Alright, so Chroma sheds its out spell, creating an animated sentry from it. Until the spell ends, Chroma's AC is reduced to 16. Speed increases to 60 foot, and gains a fly speed of 60 foot. The animated sentry is... Shall we say it's intangible? Just not attackable? Yeah, the animated sentry is intangible. No. The animated sentry cannot be damaged. Just simple words. Simple words are best words. The animated sentry cannot be damaged. When created, and at the start of each of Chroma's turns, the sentry may cast Chromatic Breath. This does not have a recharge limit on it. Just make it clear to people that it just casts it. This does not have a recharge limit. Don't need the on it. Does not have a recharge limit. Thank you for the stats on that, Grumpy Pants. Appreciate it. And I'm actually saying, I'm going to guess that something as simple as cannot be damaged is going to lead to some busted rules lawyer cheese strat somehow. Probably. It's level 19. Rules stop mattering at that point. Cast shouldn't apply. Uses. Yes, Jason. Yeah, you're right. May use. So, the sentry may use the Chromatic Breath feature. But this does not have a recharge limit. Also, I should probably italicize this to make it clear that is a feature. Esprit, no. No. Calm down. No. Alright. So when created, and at the start of each Chroma's turns, the sentry may use Chromatic Breath feature. This does not have a recharge limit. That's cool. I kind of want to... I feel like we're not using enough of what goes on here. Because this is the Prime. We've got a lot more space to work with. We can add in more. But... let's see. How exactly does this sentry cause knockbacks and whatnot? Whilst FG is active, Chroma gains these bonuses. FG drains these energies. Testing. If enemies come within 5 meters of the sentry, it will periodically unleash a radial knockback that inflicts some damage. In fact, it inflicts damage of all 4 types while blasting affected enemies away. We do that. Grimpat saying, does it need to be specified that the effigy is an object to be clear for spells? Oh, that's an interesting one. Probably should, shouldn't we? Yeah. Chroma sheds its outer pelt, creating an animated sentry from it. Yeah, animated sentry. It's considered an object and cannot be damaged. There we are. That's fine. That's covered. So yeah, we say this does not have a recharge limit. If a hostile creature ends its turn within 5 feet of the animated sentry, I'm just going to keep using the name animated sentry. Oh wait, no, I didn't do that there. Never mind, I'll just stick with sentry. If a hostile creature ends its turn within 5 feet of the sentry attempts to knock it, to bash it away. Bash it away. Creature must make a strength saving throw, DC 20. On a failed save, it is shoved 10 feet away from the sentry and knocked prone. There we are. That gives that little extra on it, covering the kind of the knockback approach. So if you come up close to the sentry and you stay there, oh, well, I can't damage it, but I can still stand here. I'll tank the damage or something like that. If you come up next to it, it's gonna be like, bitch, fuck off. Go away. That works. Beefy, it's meant to be. This is meant to be a challenging thing to come across. Chroma Prime is no lightweight here. This is meant to be a problem to deal with. The gods allowed Chroma Prime to live another day. He's going to make that someone else's problem. Alright, so let's review where we're at on this. We can assume that Effigy is cast on the very first turn. And we'll assume this follows up with a Chromatic Breath as well from Chroma. We'll assume that Chroma gets hit, so Effigy ends. So we just get 1 turn of Effigy. Can Chroma Prime carry people into the stratosphere? They can certainly bloody well get there, can't they? Downside, if they take a hit, goodbye wings, so probably not, actually. Warframes are basically godlike in lore, so it's appropriate they're high CR. Well, that's the thing, they're not all godlike. Like, you want to say Warframes are godlike in lore, but then we also have a Warframe in lore which went around on a squid thing skateboard for a bit and eventually just got caught. We have other Warframes which have been straight up captured by the Corpus or Grineer and then subjected to all kinds of whatever torturous experiments that Alan V was doing on. They're not really that powerful. So whilst the Prime here is challenge 19, we've got a basic Chroma Initiate here, challenge rating 4, which is suitable for lower level parties to come across. If you're a DM with a group of, say, level 2s or level 3s, Probably, yeah, level 3s. Don't go level 2. If you got a group of level 3s, then the Chroma Initiate here, that's going to be a big bad in itself that are kind of go, shit, that's the boss of the dungeon. And for level 4s, they go, okay, well, this guy's tough. And level 5s just going to go, whatever, boo. Oh, we one-shot him. Even the level 4s might one-shot him. Level 3s, if they survive the Chromatic Ref, should be okay. Level 2s, just no. Level 2 should not face a Chroma Initiate. But my point is, there are different tiers of every Warframe I'm making here, so every campaign can include them. Every campaign. Anywho, so let's add up the damage potential we've got so far, see what we need to do to change anything. Chromatic Breath with no changes so far. We got 49 from the cast of it here, for the first casting, and we got Effigy will cast as well. So that's going to hit 2 enemies apart. That's just how we figure it. So it's 49 twice, 2 times over. On the follow-up turn then, we have the bonus action Vex Armor, which we assume we do, just to start racking up the damage bonus there. And then we'll have the Great Sword. That is going to be a 13, because this is 2d6 plus 6. The Vex Armor is not going to actually deal anything new at that point. But we have got 13 twice over. That's 26 damage. And then we've got the Elemental Ward that we can cast. Would it be the other way around? No, we do the Elemental Ward. Elemental Ward first. 18 times 2. Times 2. Then we can bring in activating Vex Armor and casting or using Greatsword, which is 26. Adding up all that damage comes to 294 over 3 turns, which is 98 per turn, which for a challenge rating 90. Oh my god, it's beautiful. Estimated damage output across 3 turns is 98 damage per turn, and for challenge rating 19, we're wanting 95 or thereabouts. That is bang on without having to change a damn thing. Absolutely bang on. And then there is the potential for sustain and greater problems for the players if they allow Chroma to keep Effigy alive or recharge Chromatic Breath at all. I remove 1 damage somewhere? Nah, it's fine as is. We're absolutely golden. Absolutely loving life on that one. That is perfect. Effigy dealing serious damage, allowing Chroma to fly. We got Vex Armor, giving the extra damage there. It creates a new sustain option for Chroma when all the other stuff has run out. We've got the Elemental Ward. That is a nice shutdown zone, or a zone of, if you really want to be over here, fine, but I'm not going to make it easy for you. All that stuff is good. Absolutely loving it. We got these stats translated over here. Let's just update these to what they should be. With a con mod of 4, D8s are 8.5. The 285 divided by 8.5 comes out to 33.5, blah, blah, blah. Let's go for 34 then. 289. Just 4 points higher. Not a problem whatsoever. There we go. What stats haven't we done? I'm not going to increase the speed any further because the speed already increases with Effigy. So from Chroma Master to Chroma Prime, I'm not going to need to make an increase there. As a result though, because the mouthful adds up quite nicely, I haven't needed to use Grand Prime, but I can still. I can still do that. SGR Scream, you seem to be a little bit mistaken on what day of the week it is. Today is Friday. This is not the giveaway that you might be looking for on Sunday. The only reason I can imagine you've just dropped in for a ticket right now. But hiya, all the same. This is still a stream you can enjoy. Yeah. Okay, chat. I'm going to put this out here. Do I give Chroma Prime a Grand Prime and then the option to do a sweeping attack around him. Just hits every creature within 5 feet. Or attempts to hit. Attacks every creature. A whirlwind attack, just like how in-game we have Cleaving Whirlwind. I'm also still keenly aware I've not given any range attacks here. I should probably add those in. Yeah. Alright, let's do it. I mean, you guys are always going to say yes, but sure. As a legendary action? Oh no, we don't need to do legendary actions on this one. Chroma Prime is doing quite nicely without legendary actions. We don't need to give every single creature legendary actions, to be honest. I've given legendary actions to some of the past stuff. Caliban didn't need it either. But Baruk is legendary actions and bonus actions. Very much your monk aesthetic there of just all of the attacks and abilities and whatnot coming out, and they just keep going. Legendary actions we got on Banshee as well, but we don't need them on every Warframe. Legendary resistances, I'm specifically not putting legendary resistances on these monsters. Legendary resistances are very helpful in allowing a boss monster, a solo boss monster especially, to just kind of exist longer against save or suck spells. But also it kind of just, one, becomes a resource tax on the players, and two, gives DMs the idea that they should just use a monster as a solo monster. And that's a pretty terrible idea, actually. D&D's not so great about that, so the exclusion of legendary resistances is intended throughout the Warframes here. There'll be some which have them to fit their abilities, but mostly it's just a case of, nah, DM, don't just put Chroma Prime in the middle of the party and expect them to live. Not a clever idea. Kirakami says, not as a do not spam it measure. Well, the thing is that Chroma's got bigger, better things to do than just swing their sword around at those right next to them. So, attacks which are objectively worse in most circumstances are safe to include. They won't be spammed anyway. Jason saying, just got here, my god King, that was one long video on YouTube. Thank you for letting me know what builds to make for Runa. You're very welcome, my dude. It was a very long video to make. You know, my previous longest video was 23 minutes long. So doing one that was 34 minutes long, you know, pretty much a 50% increase. That was not what I intended when I started making Varuna happen. It was definitely not intended. Actually, I can call this Cleaving Whirlwind, can't I? Go full out of the name. Chroma makes one attack with its Gram Prime against every enemy within 5 feet. And then I'm actually going to increase the multi-attack. I know I'm slightly increasing the total damage output here potentially, but honestly, it's not the end of the world. With FG taking off AC as part of the approach, Chroma's actually going to be slightly weaker defensively than we already calculated, so it's not the end of the world, it's fine. Very much worth a thumbs up. Appreciate it, Jazo. Appreciate it. Snake Raider, cheers. Hello, Benny Bossa. What are we doing? I'm turning Warframes into D&D monsters. Are you familiar with Warframe? Because if you're not, there's going to be a hell of a lot more to explain. Are you familiar with Warframe? You are. Excellent. Well, as I mentioned, turning Warframes into Dungeons & Dragons monsters. So, there are probably some questionable homebrews out there of turning them into player classes so that players can play Warframes in Dungeons & Dragons. I'm taking a very different approach where you can keep your normal D&D stuff, your wizards, your clerics, your berserkers and whatnot, and instead have them fight the Warframes. And this project is an ongoing one. I've got loads of gaps to add in pictures of the various frames in different circumstances. You see, I've been doing a lot over the number of streams that we've been working on this. For each Warframe, 4 tiers of them: Initiate, Adept, Master, and Prime. so that no matter the level of the group, the DM should be able to include them in one way or the other. And this one we're working on at the moment is Chroma Prime. I'm keeping them Warframe themed, not necessarily copy-paste. So like, Elemental Ward here has a lot fewer options than Elemental Ward in Warframe, because Warframe is a video game, it's got the freedom to do more at once. So yeah, that's what's happening here, Betty Bossa. And this document isn't available for full release at the moment in time, because it is still in progress, so it's not something that I'm spreading out to every corner of the internet as yet, but you can access the in-development document on my Discord as well, if you want to try it out for yourself. These stream types make you want to get back into D&D? Well, go ahead and play it, Jayzo. In fact, you can find a group, and then you can hit them with warframes. It's perfect. And then you can tell me how it went, because, you know, that'll be very helpful to know. So, multi-attack, Chroma makes 3 attacks with its greatsword, or we've got Cleaving Whirlwind. Chroma can just kind of spin on the spot to hit all the enemies. The thematic awesomeness. Chroma looks around. Chroma finds himself surrounded and goes, excellent. I can attack in any direction. That's basically what that is. So this should be all good as is. What I am going to do is I am going to go through and give... I'm going to give the Master and the Prime a range attack. Because they are lacking them at the moment. Just a basic ranged... We'll just... No, actually, no, they don't need it. Shadow Stalker doesn't need it. Chroma Prime doesn't need it. It's fine. I mean, if they really need to get over the distance, they can just, you know, dash and jump. Because with Enhanced Bullet Jump, Chroma can do a 54-foot vertical with a dash, so it's fine. It's fine. But yeah, we don't even need to make this specifically a Grand Prime then, do we? Yeah. So what I can do then is a suggested... Not give them Rubico Prime? We ain't got guns. We don't need those. But what I am going to do now is add in a little box down here. It's not doing what I thought it would. No, it's not. Add in a little box. I'm just going to grab these for some line breakages. Oh, is that column break, not line break? My bad. Oh yeah, line break is BR, isn't it? Don't need to go that far. This far is fine. Okay. So, Chroma Prime may be spotted wielding the most devastating of Warframe greatswords, Grand Prime. Interesting to see how the lack of guns will affect Mirage and Zaku. Yeah, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it, Grumpy Pants. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. The Chroma Prime may be spotted wielding the most devastating of Warframe greatswords, Grand Prime. This magical weapon has increased critical range, 19 to 20. Yeah, this magical weapon has increased critical range, 19 to 20. And otherwise has a +1 modifier. Equip. Yeah. Equip Chroma Prime over this brought an additional threat to your players and an additional reward. It's nothing too crazy, but it adds in just a little bit. Just a little bit, you know? Increased crit range and a +1 modifier. And then we've got this gap here, and that's where I can put an image of Grand Prime potentially. I'm just holding out for D&D theme between canon and supporters. Maybe in the future, it's something that would take a bit of setup to do properly, so maybe. Bane on dragons? Ooh. Do, but then players aren't dragons, so it's less interesting to fight against Andrew. I was thinking to actual Grand Prime as we deal with it in Warframe. In terms of the fact that it is just high crit, high damage. Yeah, that crit chance, 32%, that is nothing to sniff at right there. That is a hefty weapon. Dragonoid characters is very niche right over. It's very niche. Say, hey look, this Chroma Prime can deal extra damage to Dragonoid creatures. You are... Well, we've got an elf, a different type of elf, a dwarf, a gnome, and another kin. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm not saying give it an actual 32% crit chance, Jason. God, no. Here is Chroma Prime. He crits on a 14. No. God, your players would straight up just leave the table. Like, no, we're not dealing with this. I'm out. This isn't challenge rating 19. This is challenge rating fuck you. We're done. There's no selling that one. But yeah, this just a little extra. Just kind of add in a bit of interesting flavor to Chroma. So they can have this titular Grand Prime Warframe weapon as a magic item reward potential. I think that wraps that one up quite nicely. Now there is a bit of a problem here, chat. Now we've run into a bit of a problem. I wonder if any of you can guess the problem we've run into here. I mean, I'm sure someone will get it, but I wonder if anyone knows what I'm thinking right now. Or just enjoy a brand new cup of tea that has magically appeared. Gapping? I don't know what gapping is supposed to be right either, but Brother Oni knows exactly what I'm on about. Half an hour left on the stream, yeah. Why is Chroma so easy to make? Caliban took well over time to make. Well over time. And Chroma has just kind of slotted together. Yeah, we had to do some proper thinking for Elemental War, but it's just kind of worked. I mean, yeah, Elemental War was hyper streamlined. It was. Partly because I don't want it taking up too much space here, because this is a great space to have for an image of Chroma Prime. Sorry, just a Chroma. So I know I've got this gap here, but this gap is perfectly fine. That happens. That just occurs. Oh, I didn't add in a few details. I do need to wrap this one up in terms of the details. We got one per thingy-majig. This is going to allow the casting of effigy, which is 7th level. It's not really that strong, so it's just 7th level. And was the hit points correct? 289, 34? Yeah, that's all correct. I only made one version, not 4, based on different elements. Yeah, the Elemental Ward is kind of really streamlined. Yeah. Caliban doesn't have a theme. True. Yeah. Caliban. I mean, we created a theme for him. The absolute survivor with the ever-growing arms. Like, we got out to Caliban Prime here, bladed arm, reach 15 foot. One target hit for 24 damage. Just whack. I suppose it also kind of shows the difference between older frames and newer frames. Because, like, going back to the originals, Excalibur was the sword guy. That one went together quite nicely. Mag, very early game frame. Some complicated stuff going on there. She's been reworked a bit to make those complicated bits happen. So, more to work with. Volt, actually relatively simple to throw together, is more case of just getting the numbers to work. Ash, pretty simple to do. It was more a misunderstanding on the damage numbers that threw over that one. Atlas, relatively manageable. Some interesting bits and pieces going on. Then we created a Rumbler, our first summoned monster. Banshee, relatively simple to throw together. Baruch was more interesting. And Caliban definitely just... the theme was not there for us, was it? What frame do I not look forward to trying to convert? Oh, that is a good question. What frame do I not look forward to trying to convert? I don't know. Let me... if we scroll up, let me refresh my memory on all the frames that exist. We got Ember, Equinox, Excalibur we've already done, Frost, Gara, Garuda, Gauss, Grendel. Grendel is going to be an interesting one. Grendel's definitely going to be an interesting one. Yeah. Hildrin could be interesting, because Hildrin is very shield gimmick, but we don't have shields to work with in D&D in that sense, so... Balancing of Vara should be okay. Cora... Lavos should be okay. We'll just put down damage type is whatever you choose. Limbo should be manageable. We'll just use the ethereal plane a lot. Loki should be absolutely fine. Mag, we've already done. Mesa should be fine. Repeating crossbows are a thing. Mirage should be okay, yeah. I don't see an issue with Mirage. Mirage should actually be okay. Necros might be a nightmare to run. They'll be fine. Nezha, don't see a problem. Nidus should be okay. Balancing that could be a bit interesting. Yeah, Nidus could be a finicky one. Nova should be okay. Nyx. Nyx could be an interesting one, yeah. Octavia. Oh. Octavia's going to take some reimagining. Octavia is definitely going to take some reimagining. Oh, dear. Oh. Ooh, yeah. Octavia's got my vote so far as one I'm most not looking forward to. Because I'm trying to think. First ability Octavia, enemies shoot something they shouldn't shoot and they get damaged by shooting it, but players won't do that. And then second ability Octavia, players won't just go la 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 la, let me follow this. Octavia third with all just the bajillion things happening with it. Octavia 4 is just like, what? Why? How is this an ultimate ability? If anything, Octavia's 3 and 4 will probably be swapped around by today's standards. I just... Yeah. Can't say it's like Octavia and Conclave? No, that's a good question. What is Octavia and Conclave? What's different? Yeah, you guys are right. Yes. Grumpy Pants. Drekro, you're right. Yes, Octavia will use charms, won't she? Yes. Saving throws or fight the wrong thing. Ooh. Okay. See, this is why I stream this, because then I get 90% of my ideas out there and they work, and the 10% where I get stuck, you guys come in clutch. Yes. And it'd be one of the few charisma warframes. You're very right, Rainu, but yeah. Yes. Okay, that can work. That can work. We're fine. We're chill. We're cool. We're good. Rhino should be okay. Saren should be okay. Sevagoth. Just It's maybe? Charisma saves galore from Octavia. Your cleric and bard are going to be fighting off the barbarian. Oh, Jason. No. No. Octavia's not the problem there, Jason. That's Nyx. Nyx, mind control barbarian. Oh, that one's going to be a fun one. Nyx just straight up going, yeah, you don't know where I am, but your armor's gone, and the barbarian knows it's gone. Have fun with that. Oh, Nyx is really gonna be the terror one. Like, there's just this invulnerable sphere. I don't know if I have to make it invulnerable. I don't know if that's even gonna work, but if we were to transpose it across perfectly, invulnerable sphere, everyone doesn't know who their allies are anymore. Everyone's just fighting everyone, and all your armor is gone. She's just there in the middle of it, just hovering ominously, like, oh, and just pandemonium. Just absolute pandemonium. Oh, dear. Oh, that's just... Wow. Yeah. Yeah, that... Nyx would definitely be up there for just... DMs looking like, I can't run this. My players will quit. We're going to have to really scale down Nyx. She's... Yeah, no. Squad of Nyx, Banshee, Ivara, and Trinity? Oh, God. I mean, if you're going to have a squad of things like that, either you're using the Adepts, not the Masters and Primes, or your players are level 25. Because there's no other way you can make it fair. Every joke about a Vor player makes 86 psychic damage? Oh, yikes. I mean, if DMs can't handle that, then, well... I've heard worse things, let's put it that way. I've heard worse. Even level 25, I'm not sure if that's fair. I mean, level 25 is... You've gone above and beyond the levels actually possible in the game. The DM is just handing out random boons and godly artifacts at this point. I mean, Esprit, Grendel can eat grenades. Rainova reminded us of this. Grendel can eat grenades. So technically, Esprit, yes. Technically. Yeah, Zom, you brought it up. You did it. Let's see. Honestly, all considered now, considering that Octavia can use charms and will be fine on that side, maybe Euryale could be the most problematic one to do. Because how do you honestly tell your players, here is this horrible, devastating machine of war. It looks like a girl in a blue skirt and she's on what appears to be a jellyfish skateboard. I mean, just... How do I take that ability and make it a D&D spell? How? Summon skateboard is not a spell. Zakia is going to be problematic. Grendel could be interesting. Hildren could be problematic, but Euryale, I just... Euryale is a druid? Euryale is not a druid. Euryale is definitely not a druid. At least not in a D&D sense. That's going to be scary. Dude can't die, period. I mean, dude can't die if dude has the stacks. Which is possibly how I could make Nidus so terrifying, is that they could be ever escalating. The longer you leave them alive, the less likely it is you're going to kill them. That could be interesting. Yeah, Renu, there is Tensor's Floating Disc. First spell I ever cast in D&D, in fact. But I can't say that it's really going to be up there. I don't know if you can even hear me at the moment, Renu, so I'm gonna type it out. It's probably going to be Eurali that's going to mess me up the most. Thinking it all through, it's probably going to be her. Oh, you can hear me. Oh, there we are then. That's fine. All the rest of them, we can balance stuff around, and they're all kind of devastating. I just can't gel with her freaking theme. What is that theme? Ultra Assassin, punch out your face everywhere. Banshee, I mean, everyone knows what a Banshee is. It's all about the sonic abilities. We have the Reluctant Pacifist. We have the Survivor. We have the Dragon. Fire, Night and Day, Sword, Cold, Glass, Vampiric, Speed, Fat, Electricity but different. Kind of occultist, yeah, cult leader stuff. Beef Shields, the Deep Sea, Sand, Hunter, or Stealth Hunter, Crazy Cat Lady, Potion Master, Ethereal, Trickster, Magnetic, Gunslinger, another Trickster, but this time more damaging. Here we got Slippery Trickster and Blow Your Face Up Trickster. Necromancer, Eastern Godchild, if I recall correctly. We have just Pure Infestation, Antimatter, Mindbender, Oberon, much more of a druid in terms of the way they cast out stuff. We got the Musician or Bard. We got the Engineer. We've got the Pseudo-Sentient. We've got just Beef. Plague. The Undying. Or Space Medic, I suppose, as well. Javelin Master, the Pixie, the Healer, Angry, Grenade Lobber, Electricity, Wolf Pack, Butt, Monkey, Broken, Burb, and then just Girl on a Skateboard. Girl on a Skateboard. Granted, Wisp's theme is also a bit loose, but you know, I mean, as far as Wisp's theme goes, most people over on Reddit don't seem to have a problem with her theme being butt. Wisp seems to handle there. Eurali is the Unrelenting Current. The Unrelenting Current. Eurali summons Bubbles, a temporary whirlpool, a skateboard, and some razor blades. If there's anyone that is an unrelenting current, it would actually be Hydroid, who has Tidal Surge. Eurali is not unrelenting. Eurali is basically just the rebellious teen girl. Tell him, Mom, I don't care what you gotta say. I'm gonna skateboard with my friends. I'm gonna play with razor blades, and you can't stop me. And that's Eurali. She's literally an annoying teenager. That's Eurali. I don't want to get to that one. I really don't want to get to that frame. We'll get to that frame because I can't write Zephyrin until I've done Eurali. That's the rules. Yeah. Like I'm playing, say, Ken, I'm advising you to get someone else to work on Eurali. God. I just... Who knows? Maybe by the time that I get to Eurali, she might have been deleted from Warframe by a hacker, and then we'll never have to worry again. Maybe! I don't know. Maybe the world will end first. Then I'll never have to make Urali as a D&D monster. That could work. Reworked? I do not have enough faith in Urali being reworked, no. I do not have enough faith in that happening now. She got some damage alterations, or stat alterations, Katong, and her fourth ability was made where, rather than ending itself, you could choose when it finished. But that was about the extent of her rework. Yeah. Let's talk about getting the alphabet goes X, Z, Y. Honestly, we might just get rid of the letter Y in the alphabet. Yeah, that'll be fine. This is a medium monstrosity. Job done, you know. We don't really need the letter Y. We don't need Urali. Veto Y. Yep. Down with Urali. Down with Skater Girl. We don't need that in this document. We'll just get to the Urali page, and there'll just be a picture of Urali with the caption, "Now you understand why I've not included this one." Or I could go full political. I could just say, children are not supposed to be soldiers of war, and then move on to the next page. I could be super political about it. Children are not soldiers in war. Move on to next page. Zephyr. Job done. If I had Dee's permission, I could even use the picture of Urali in the comic where she's just about to get absolutely destroyed by the fat guy with the whip. Just to show, yeah, no, this is not one to bring in. Every Tenno is underage? Yes, they are. Which is actually a design point. I have not included a Tenno in my design here. In all of the translation of Warframes as D&D monsters, no part of this includes the Tenno. Because, frankly, as much as we have it as a theme in Warframe, when it happened, yeah, when I experienced it for the first time, I was a bit about it, to be honest. And I'm still, you know, I still really don't like the idea, as no one should, of child soldiers generally. If we weren't playing as the child soldiers, if we were playing against the Tenno in some way, like if it turned out that the corpus, half the corpus units were actually just children in disguise, we would probably have a very big problem with that as players. We'd be like, no, DE, this is not okay. What the hell are you doing? So there's a good reason that I'm not having the Warframes actually just be kids in armor. That's just not okay. Because if you had a DM bring out this stuff to players who hadn't played Warframe or weren't all that into it, and the DM's like, oh yeah, sorry, you want to stop this Warframe from ever coming back again because it's getting rebuilt at the Foundry, you're going to have to kill the guy who operates it. By the way, he's a 12-year-old. And that's just, nah. SB saying, wouldn't Wally fall under evil children enemies? Wally is not a child. The man in the wall, aka Wally, is a eldritch entity which mimics your form when interacting with you. We know this from how they appear to us. We know this from how they have appeared to Barokatia. We know this from how they have appeared to Albrecht Intrati. They're very different. Very, very different. Yeah, I don't know what I'll do with Urali exactly, because stat blocking it is going to be a problem in itself, and I'm just not a fan of the frame. I should probably still include Urali, you know, out of professional integrity more than anything, to include all the Warframes that I can, but I'm not looking forward to trying to make skateboard work. Yeah. I'm trying to think about it. I'm brainstorming now. Let's think. Grumpad saying, once you finish the document, you should delete Excalibur Prime so only founders can use him. I'll just rename it to Umbra. With no explanation. But also, no, I've specifically not included Umbra because all the warframes are sentient, so it wouldn't make sense anyway. What I could do with Urali, with the skateboard, is instead take an entirely different approach of really amping up the mobility, because a large part of the issues I have with Merlina is, one, it's a K-drive. K-drives are a nuisance to use, quite frankly. They just do not gel with the majority of tile sets. And two, it locks you into your secondary weapon, as well as having other interaction issues like you can't pick up and use disruption keys. Not the Time Snake Raider. But we don't have to have those issues in creating a Warframe in D&D. And in fact, I can go further than just having a hoverboard. It can straight up be a flying carpet. Whilst on Merlina, you really would have increased movement speed, a swim speed, and a flight speed. All in one. That would be an ability worth having. Oh, I just realised, I never gave Chroma Prime any damage reduction. I do that with all the primes. They get a damage reduction. And condition immunities. I didn't actually put that on the prime here. Whoops, I need to fix that. Let me grab that from Baruch. I forgot to do those bits. Hello, Pocholo. How are you doing today? Baruch Master, Baruch. Damage resistance, condition immunities. Oh, I've not put in saving throws either. We have been missing stuff on Chrome this entire time. Chat, you let me down. You didn't catch the issue. God dang it. Alright. There we are. Condition immunities. Prone and restrained, because that is for all primes. Damage resistance. I'm going to make this actually damage immunities. Special. I'm going to put this down here. Elemental affinity. Chroma Prime is immune to the damage type last used with its, what's it called? Chromatic Breath. Defaults to fire. If not used. There we are. There we are. Damage immunity, special, and that special elemental affinity. If I just put the note there to point to the feature, Chroma Prime is immune to damage type last used with its chromatic breath, defaults to fire. If the feature has not yet been used. There we go. I'm doing right, Pocholo. Thank you very much. Alright, there we are. So we got that bit onto there, and I need to add in some saving throws because I've not done that all the way through. The Adept can start with... Let's start them off with a Strength save. Nothing too fancy. I guess the job done. On to the Master. This is where they have the... Yeah, they still have the concentration spells. We don't need to worry about con save at this point. So we can go saving throws. I'll go strength, which at this point is now +10, and the other one we can go... Dragons are hard to manipulate. Let's go for charisma. Make that a +4. Patch up that hole a little bit. And then on the prime, saving throws. We've got strength, which is a +12. We've got the con, which is a +10. And we got the char, which is a +6 at this point. There we go. There we go. That'll be fine. Snake Raider, cheers. Grimpat saying, we're not currently immune to one of the elements. Could be the high level chromas of resist all 4 elements, but lose those passive resistances when it uses effigy. I think if we leave it where it is, if we just have the damage immunity is just 1, but Chroma can intentionally rotate it around, that should be fine. That should be fine in itself. Alright, let's fix those bits there. So we got the saves, the skills, senses. Yeah, that's got it all fixed now. That should be fine. Oh, righty. In which case, chat, we're finished up now. We've got a fully statted Chroma group. And we got some gaps. Well, a gap. Yeah, a couple gaps. A gap to put in a Chroma picture and a gap to put in a Grand Prime picture to go with the little bit I've added in down here. I think that's going to do us on that one. I think that's going to do us just fine. We've had a little bit of brainstorming as to what we can do with future frames as well. Can the Master and Prime recharge their breaths on 5s? No, still on 6s. Still just on 6s on that, Jason. The mathematics on it is still going to be fairly okay on that. If I make it a 5-6, there's too much of a chance of it becoming available too soon. Also, effigy is casting it without that restriction anyway. So we've already got the effigy belching out extra, and if the players don't break Chroma's concentration, that effigy is going to keep going. And I just gave them a con save of +10, so that's going to be a bit harder to break that concentration. That is definitely going to be that little bit harder. So you still get your dragon, but it's a little bit different. And if you want to fudge the numbers as a DM and roll a 6 on your d6 for the recharge, oh no, look at that, we have to use it again. Well, just don't tell me about it, because fudging numbers is bad. Don't do that. But if you did do it, I can't stop you. Alright then. One final thing before we wrap up, chat. One final thing. I did put out an announcement on the Discord, but I want to let you guys know as well. Is that over on Warframe, today I've been able to get hold of control of the clan, because the clan have been in for a very long time. The person who did run it had gone basically AFK for 300 days. They're just gone. They're done. They're out. So, I spoke to DE support. The clan is now under my name as the founding warlord. So the clan has now been transitioned over after a little bit of changes under the hood. It is the official clan of the Engineer. So if you want to be part of the community a little bit more closely knit inside of the game as well as outside, then you can join into the clan. The spaces are open for anyone to join in onto that one there. It is on PC, so if you're not on PC, I can't extend that invite to you for obvious reasons. Likewise, if you're in a clan already, you don't really want to leave the clan, like it's a solo clan, you've built it up over time, then you are welcome to instead join into the alliance with your clan. To join in alongside whilst keeping your own dojo, keeping your own things that you've got set up. So yeah, big ol', not really big reveal, release, change, whatever you want to call it. You are now welcome to join in onto the clan there. The details are on the Discord in the announcements channel, so definitely check out the announcements channel in the Discord for more information on that side of things. And obviously just get in touch with me if you want to be into the clan. Sacred asking, you can just claim a clan of founding warlords offline for a year if you are yourself a warlord, yes. If you are already one of the second to top ranks, yes. If not, and if no one is, I don't know what the rules will be on that. Like, if you're just a random nobody in the clan and you're like, haha, the guy's not been around for a while, I'm going to take it over. I don't know if the support will give you that one, but I was literally the next highest ranked person in the entire clan, the only person of that rank, and the other guy has been gone for basically a year, so yeah. D looked at and went, it's yours now, bro. You're the one who's actually active in the clan. Yeah, it's a thing. I'm fidgeting. Alright, that's all on that. Obviously, guys, that whilst it is ending here for today, we have got on Sunday something a little bit extra. There is the drops campaign going on across the entire Warframe category, but far more important than that, I'm going to be doing the Baruch Prime Access giveaway on Sunday as well. So make sure you do check that out. Give yourself a chance to win it with a ticket. But that is all that we've got time for. Thank you very much for joining in. Thank you to those of you who have subbed and resubbed here today, or rather resub on Airsoft and the gift from Korokop. You guys are amazing. But that's all we got time for. I hope you have enjoyed yourselves. And I'll get this document up onto the Discord at some point over the weekend. I am very busy tomorrow, but I'll see about getting it set up. That's all from me. Catch you later. Bye-bye.